It's the Dolphins D, we already in here. Ready to turn up this year. We gon' get it.
To Hard Rock Stadium.
We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad. We got the whole squad with me now. Train to go. Come play games if you want to. Try to crash eyes, you done took the wrong route. We gon' crash in you like a stunt dude. Check y'all like 1, 2. Tap your head like your uncle. You wanna ride, stay buckle. It get loud down here, get wild down here. Turn the field to a jungle. Never disrespect the squad that's defended by a line. And some beasts on the feast on opposition. Another line in the back singing to the ER. Just in case you got through the first line with tripping. But if for some reason it get crazy, I got watchers on the corner for my safety. Everybody here well coached. Change the weather under pressure, stay cool like an AC. Woo! But we still made heat. Woo! Was you trying to play me? We be 3 plus AD, but I'm a fool so low. Can't nothing break me. Be great, only way to do great things. Hit hard, only way to make a statement. Come up in our territory, make a payment. Or be in debt with your neck. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad.
I hit them boys. We throw them toys. That's saying that QB. We them boys. We the realest. We go gorillas. We out here, homie. You gon' feel us. Don't make me come down. In that box. Like I'm red. I knock your socks. Won't play y'all boys. Cause we some bullies. We'll take your cookies. Cause y'all some rookies. I'm in the building. Me and Shot Jones. We do lane. We don't play zone. We play that man. So guard your hands. I see your eyes. You're scared,
we
man.
We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad. We gon' defend. Homie, this side. And we gon' defend. Let me hear you say, his squad. Yeah. Know the whole city rising. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Fins for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. To a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time. To a time. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time. My intuition told me this. To trust the coach, he holds the gift. He knowin' when to go with fit. So we knowin' when to switch. This year we got the golden pick. Time to see what that pick about. Bad vibes get sent out. Only fans up in this house. We been waiting, we been patient. Now it's time to cash out, no discount. Super Bowl, we in route. I don't know when, but it's close. I don't wanna overhype, but I just know I like it. So excited, league gon' notice now. You should know the rivalry. They say 2 from that rock. Shout out to Samoa, and now it's time to lay the smack down. You think he Dwayne Johnson? Time to be the people's champ. Hit him with the people's elbows, stick together like it's Velcro. You think you could stop us? Hell no. All day I dream about sports. I think I need some shadows, custom with some darkest colors, just to let them know we here. Yeah. I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Vince for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. Two at a time, two at a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time.
Two at a time, two at a time. Really hope he the man. Hope we found us a gem, like the Heat found Bam. Wanna take time to thank Fitz, cause he put on a show. But the young man up, in the whole city know. Time to catch all the blessings, cash out on the investment. Ball out, don't choke. Fins want all the smoke. Chris Gregg gave hope. Coach flow like spoke. Dan Marino still the GOAT, but to a man on go. Watch to a man throw. Watch to a man scope. Watch to a man dishes that we never ever seen before. Fins up, let it win. Boy, I'm ready for a ring. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. It's damn week, use 10.
I know the whole city riding. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been trained to go. Vince for life, we throw the foe. Singing this just to welcome bro. Two at a time, two at a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time. Time to grind, time to shine. Two at a time, two at a time. Two at a time, two at a time.
So low, so low, so low. So low, so low, so low.
Man, y'all been part of the Buffet Boys. Shout out Solo D. Shout out to DWA. Let's eat.
Yo, Solo! You know they been saying you gotta make a hit squad part 2. But you know, man, we hungry this time, man. We gotta eat this time. Yeah. Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap for the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one route like the busway.
I say and not quote. Go hard or go home is the motto. A pick or a sack is the lotto. Let's cook them like Emerald Lagasso. My bad, Lagasse. He going south, that is not me. Hungry for greatness, so I eat. Stay in my zone like a Bobby. Jumping off the edge like Ian Shaq. Straight pressure, never even back. Protection on the way you gon' get wins. Split through the middle like Wilkins. Got some backers on the back that's gon' back me up. Straight action, we be acting up. Tell Coach Job his best plan, but it still get snatched by X-Man. Cause we back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap for the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must take. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Eat the fan base like a buffet. Stand one round like a buffet.
Eating like a buffet, it be a long day. We ain't gon' play. Get them boys green, no subway. Pick the ball off X and BJ. I don't care about what he and she say. That's nonsense. Check the replay. I work overnight and it's early morning, but I'm turned up cause it's game day. They don't really want it with your boy. O-line really get destroyed. Ex-Patriot, Kyle Van Noy. Put him on his butt, hurt hemorrhoids. What's a grown man to a boy? Jim him at the line, dare you to throw it. Discipline coach Brian Flores. Never getting rattled to the boys. Fans better pay attention, even social distance. I got a witness and you know we blitzing, but mind your business. Christian Wilkins on the line of scrimmage. Far from timid, push it to the limit, rub the engine. You know we gotta get it, Nick Needle. You know we gonna pick it, Van Ginkle. Take it to the business. Fins up till my life is finished. Say it with my chest cause I'm in it. A lie, no why, I admit it. New era, yeah, our division. A win streak, we just keep on winning. So I lose, tell them suck a limit. Bills with the Jets and the Winged. Miami top dogs where you hit me.
Back in the beast mode. AFC, we tryna rap for the East Coast. Take shots, fall back, then reload. Get the powder, time to slap up these foes. Anytime we hit the field, then we must play. Any boys going hard, man, I must say. Try to stay on one route like the busway. Trying to eat teams up like a buffet. Buffet. Eat the offense like a buffet. Eat the quarterback like a buffet. Eat the running back like a buffet. Eat the wide receiver like a buffet. Eat the whole line like a buffet. Eat the coach up like a buffet. Get fan base like a buffet. Eat. Stand one round at the busway. Eat.
Hey guys, I'm Danny Johnson, CEO at TPP, The Positive Porpoise.
I'm Jason Miller from Phinside SoCal Fan Club.
I'm Scott Howell from Atlanta Dolphin Club.
Mark Angelo, NorCal Dolphin Club.
And you're listening to Clock Blockers, Miami fans' #1 morning show.
Run it, 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 run it.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live. This is an evening edition of Clock Blockers. Super stoked, super excited. Guys, if you have not done so already, hit that like button. I'm not playing with y'all. Y'all need to sensei it, master it, kung fu it, whatever you got to do. Just make sure you tap that like button. I'm not playing with y'all right now. I'm telling you right now, this is a major show tonight. Major show tonight. We got people that are going to be dropping in and out the whole night. It's going to be awesome. Now, check it out. Usually, when we're doing a live stream, you'll see a chat box there. And that chat box allows you to interact with us, and we can read your stuff, just like, Irving, my man Irving, or our newest member to the channel, Douglas, who just joined, Dolphin Dan, or Don, Big Time, A-Rod, Pamela. Oh, my God, we got everybody in here. Big John, Stetson. You got so many people. Now, check it out. Tonight, the chat box is reserved only for members only. So if you are not signed up to become a member, what are you doing? Guys, you have to sign up to become a member. Seriously. All right. And so what I'm going to do, so that make sure you guys know that, is if you guys look at the pin, you'll see a link. All right. The top chat that you'll see there. There's a link there. Sign up to become a member. Okay. Seriously. Sign up to become a member today. It is awesome. We have a lot of things that you get. You get a lot of perks, but tonight you'll get to interact and chat with us. Let's go. Come on. We need more people up here. The goal is to get like 20 new members tonight. We already have one. There's 19 to go. Let's go. I love it, baby. I love it. All right. Anyways, I am super excited to see y'all here, and I want to see y'all do your thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to throw people up in and out the entire night, okay? So first things first, we're going to have some people come up. We're going to have some people come up, and I got people chatting me in the back room here. We're going to have some people come on to open this thing, and then we're going to have some bigger guests roll on as the night progresses. So just because you don't see that person up here, I know at 9:30 we got a couple more people coming on. So be prepared to see people come in and out of the room the entire night. All right. We have a lot of cool people coming on. Okay. So first things first, let me get the first 3 people in here. These guys might stay the entire night. They might drop off, but no matter what, we're going to have a good time tonight. Okay. All right. So make sure, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, just like Pamela says, subscribe. Okay. Chef Juice says subscribe, like, share, and become a member tonight. Let's go. Okay. First things first. What I want to do is I want to bring in my man that co-hosts Tuesdays with me. You also know him because he has a great podcast, What Would Shula Do? He's absolutely amazing. He's awesome. He has the latest episode out, episode 11, X's and O's and Trade Rumors. Guys, you have to go check out my man. He's building up his man cave. It's starting to become a thing. My man, Wade O, is in the building tonight. So without further ado, let me give it up to my man, Wade. What's up, Wade? Wade.
What up, everybody? I'm Wade O, a.k.a. the crazy loudmouth idiot on his channel, a.k.a. the guy that got Steven the things he took that made him so hyped up at this time of night because he gets up so early to do these shows. So what's up, everybody?
I don't know where
Thank you for having me. I'm ready to party, ready to celebrate.
No problem, brother. I'm glad that you're here tonight. Super excited. Also, tonight, joining us from the debut show last night, which was absolutely amazing. If you guys missed it last night, I don't know what you're doing. but they will be they're 2 of 3 co-hosting an amazing podcast called Hellfins, a Spanish-speaking podcast. I don't think they're going to speak any Spanish tonight unless they get up here, and I don't know about that because we're not going to be able to interact with each other otherwise. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on my man Paris and Chochos. What's up, Paris and Chochos? What's going on, guys?
Hey guys, how are you doing?
How are you guys?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? You guys are like living legends right now. You guys had a really cool debut last night that's got a lot of publicity, it's a big deal. It is a big deal.
Let's hope we're not a one-hit wonder. Let's hope.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't think that's going to be the case, guys. All right. So for those of you who don't know, this is a roundtable. So obviously we're keeping it Dolphins centric, and so tonight we're going to have a whole bunch of people on. The goal is to have Kflexin on. Reason's going to come on, as well as TDPhinsTalk. I'm hoping later on tonight we'll see maybe Doug. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But we're definitely going to see some of these people come in and out. Cam, who will be co-hosting with me tomorrow, should be coming on later on this evening. And we're just going to try to have some friends pop in and out. So it's going to be fun. So hang tight. If you don't see your favorite Miami sports music person, well, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully you'll learn to love us. That's the goal here. You'll learn to love us. Okay. So without further ado, let's get going into this. Let's get going into the initial roundtables topic, and I want to talk about the Dolphins, baby. So there's a lot of news that's been coming out over the last 24 to 48 hours. And first things first, let me bring in Wade on this one. It looks like the Miami Dolphins are going to have 2 national broadcasts for a preseason game. Preseason game number 1 is going to be broadcast live on August 14th at 1 o'clock on NFL Network. And the third preseason game will also be broadcast live, I believe, on CBS. So the Dolphins are getting 2 live national preseason games, which I think is pretty cool. Are you excited about this? What are you looking forward about this, Wade?
For sure, man. I mean, for me, preseason is something that, like, you know, whether it's live or not, I rewatch a lot of tape, right? Especially on the guys that are going to be fighting for positions, the guys that make the team a lot of times that we didn't expect. I go back and rewatch. So I just love that the NFL's trying to take a more progressive approach with the preseason. You know, for years it was frustrating. Even when I did for a short time live in the Dolphins market, like, you couldn't get a preseason game on time, man. It was annoying. You know what I mean? Like, and I get, you know, not everybody cares, whatever. We talked a couple times about, like, you know, preseason is going to have a little bit of a different format this year because you don't have the 4 games. You know, traditionally the starters played a big chunk of the third game. What's that look like now? Do they play the second game? Do they play the third? Do they not play at all? A lot of the things, if you go back and watch some of the episodes me and Steven have been doing about guys that are going to make the team in the secondary, at linebacker, you know, at the running back or wide receiver position, we're going to see a lot of who's really shining through in this preseason game. So definitely something to pay attention to. Yeah, it doesn't matter, you know, with the ultimate record. You know, we could talk about all day how Isaiah Ford and Rashard Matthews shined in preseason, right? Really positive in the long run. But, you know, it is what it is. I'll tell you this. I mean, I remember I watched the Saints preseason game many years ago, and I saw this kid named Robert Beecham making all these plays. And sure enough, you know, he became a guy that
balled out
for the Saints,
balled
you know, a
out
little bit here and there, and ended up getting a big contract with I think the Chargers. I think after the Saints, I don't know. But anyway, like, it's a good thing, man. If you're a football fan like I am, you're sitting here banging your head against the I don't know what this is, oak, whatever my desk is, right? Just waiting for some kind of football. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it from the aqua and orange, man.
Hey, Chochos, man, what do you think, man? You guys are down in Mexico, and you guys don't get a chance to watch a lot of Dolphins stuff. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Chris Johnson with the $5 donation. Thank you. If you guys want to donate tonight, 3 different ways to do it. You can use Super Chat, the Cash App, or the PayPal. It all helps to go helping the channel grow. But you guys are down in Mexico, Chochos. Explain to me what having national preseason games means to you guys live.
We don't have national broadcast for preseason games. Sometimes we get on ESPN or Fox Sports some random preseason game.
You guys don't have NFL Network there?
Yeah, we have it, and also at NFL Network. But it's,
and so the first game's going to be live on NFL Network. You guys will be able to watch it live on NFL Network.
Oh, great.
See, you learned something tonight, baby. You learned something tonight. That's what we do here, man.
I didn't know
man.
that.
Hey, you always learn something when I'm on the show. It might be something stupid, but you learn it.
Now we have to teach you something.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, Paris, what about you, man?
Well, I'm pretty excited about that because we don't have a national broadcast games with us. We learn to see all the games by another means, right, churches?
Yeah.
The magic of streaming. The streaming magic makes us
some pirate magic that we have to do most of the season.
Oh, well, what are some? Let's start out with some of the big storylines that we're going to see this preseason. Right, we're going to be able to see the wide receivers. Look, the question is, are we keeping 6, 7, or 8 wide receivers? Right, and I think a majority of us in this little group here would say that we're keeping 7 wide receivers. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wade? Wade's frozen. I like how Wade's frozen in time. Wade was texting me about someone's lagging everything, and I wanted to be like, bro, it's you. It's definitely you up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere in Denver. Got to get better internet, Wade. You got to get better internet, Wade. See? All right, Wade, go out and come back in. Gosh, what am I do with you? I can't. I don't know what I'm going to do with Wade. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. All right, so we keep 7 wide receivers, right? And if we keep 7 wide receivers and you guys look at it from that standpoint, one of the things that you're going to see is we just re-signed Isaiah Ford, right? And I don't think he's going to make this team. But the fact of the matter is that this team is consistently bringing in people to compete. And so the best person will get these slots. So my question to you is, who's going to get those last 2 or 3 slots?
I think one of them is going to be Mac Hollins because of special teams.
I want to see him make it. I want to see my boy Mac make it. I just don't know. Yeah,
really
he's on the bubble. He's on the bubble.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Jakeem Grant is going to make it. I don't think he's going to be on the team in September.
I see Albert Wilson, man, making the team.
Albert Wilson, look, Albert Wilson's great from the standpoint of if you look at what Albert Wilson brings when he's healthy, he's great. It's just a matter of him being healthy. Wade, you're back, brother.
Hey, thank you, Steven, for covering me while I go get a beer.
See, I knew it wasn't your internet. You were just making an excuse to go get a beer. That's why I had
to bring on the true story. I had to bring on the American flag. I celebrated 4th of July. You know, my girl's father is from the mountains of Mexico, and he got me this really cool Mexico belt. It's the most ballin' thing ever. I swear. It's not aqua and orange, or I wear it to games. But no, I
have
agree,
you guys
man.
real quick? Have you guys partied with Wade yet at a tailgate?
No,
Wade. I'm just saying, it's a big time. It's a good time, bro. It's a good time. All right, Wade. What are your thoughts on that wide receiver room at the 6, 7 spots?
We talked about this before, man. The big 4 obviously going to be, Devontae Parker, the man, the contested catch master. I was watching some Instagram highlights earlier this morning, actually, just some of the stupid catches he's made over the last couple of days, or last couple of years, I should say. He ain't going nowhere. Of course, Jalen Waddle. Fun fact for everybody out there: there was this is the entire list of college wide receivers last year who had at least 25 targets, whose quarterback had a perfect passer rating when targeting them. Number 1, Jalen Waddle. That's it. So Jalen Waddle was going to be the number 2 guy, right? Number 3, of course, Big Wolf Fuller. We paid him $10 million to be here for 1 year. I think he's going to ball. I think he's going to prove and get the next deal. And then, of course, Preston Williams. The kid's a beast when he's healthy. He's on the last year of an undrafted rookie deal. He's cheap. He ain't going hard. So it's a toss-up, man. We've talked about Mac Hollins, Jakeem Grant, Albert Wilson. We've talked about Kirk Merritt. We've talked about Reuben Foster. I really see some grit in Lynn Bowden, and I see the same in Malcolm Perry. I think, and this is going to be a very unpopular opinion here, I think it goes Grant, Bowden, Perry, and we don't even discuss Albert Hurns. Albert Wilson or Allen Hurns.
Here's the thing about Allen, right? So now when you get into the 6, 7 slots, you have to start worrying about contracts. because I feel like these guys, the playing field is going to be very level. So now who's going to be the better for contract, especially if we start making some trades here in the coming days, which we'll get into in a minute. But, you know, if we really start doing that, I'm very excited to see from the contract standpoint, hey, look, Albert Wilson. Albert Wilson's going to cost X dollar amount, and Alan Hearns is going to cost X dollar amount. And they're pretty much the same player from that standpoint. So who's going to be able to do that? You know what I'm saying?
Steve, the only thing I'll disagree with you there, man, is that Hearns, Wilson, any of these dudes, not only do we not need the money, but they're cheap. And most of them, even if we keep them on roster this year, are off roster next year when we have even more money. And you know who's going to hang around the practice squad? It's going to be our boy Isaiah Ford that we just brought back.
I was very surprised that we brought him back. It was what are we doing this for? But I mean, my answer, I guess, is they're just trying to have competition inside the room, and the more people you bring in, the better.
He balls, and he's cheap, and he doesn't mind getting kicked around a practice squad. He can stay there all day. For me, I'm happy with that.
Definitely. Guys, you guys are watching an evening edition of Clock Blockers, Dolphin Chat, whatever you guys want to call it. I have two of the three musketeers from down in Mexico, Paris and Chochos from Hellfins. I also have Wade O. Guys, sit tight. I got TDPhinsTalk coming on in about 15 minutes, and I'm also going to have Phinside the NFL and Kflexin on tonight. We're going to have a good time tonight, so just stay tight. I got the big hitters coming up.
We're taking donations to teach Steven Spanish.
No habla español. So I'll tell you what. Last night when your show was on, I was running the chat box for Miami Sports Music on the thing, and I had Google Translator up. So I would type in English what it is and then use Google Translator, put it into, hey, bro, don't knock Google Translator. That thing works.
Bro, I'm with it.
Why do I ever have to learn if I have Google Translator? I'm just saying. Although Paris and Chocho said they're going to teach me.
Yeah. Do you know Spanish, Wade?
No.
Más o menos. So, I'm from Philadelphia, right? So, me estudio con Boricuas and Americanos, and it's very different. For those of you at home, what we're talking about right now is like there's a big difference in like proper speech. Just like if you talk to somebody from England, right? You speak English, they speak English, but y'all say different things. Yeah. There's a big difference in like the Castilla and like what they speak in Mexico and what they speak in like the islands and stuff. And the little bit of Spanish I know, I was talking to people from like Puerto Rico and DR and Cuba and things like that, which, by the way, shout out to Cuba. Everything that's going on in Cuba right now, I know there's a lot of Miami fans here. We're not going to get political at all, but y'all know what needs to happen, man. Like, shout out to
Wait, always taking it there. Wait, always taking it there. I specifically
I'll bring back my American.
Why don't you just drink your beer and God, I can't do nothing with you, man. All right. So, let's go on to the next topic. So the next topic is the first two games of the season that I really want to talk about. And we're probably going to go back and touch on this when some of the other guys get up here. But what I am interested to know is these first two games, you have the Patriots and you have the Bills. Let's be honest. These are two very important games to figure out how this season's going to go. So, Chochos, just out of curiosity, how do you think the first two games are going to go?
I think we're going to win both games. I think that the Bills game is going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Okay. And I think that that game, the defense is going to bail us out. The defense is going to make Josh Allen cry. He's going to be frustrated with our defense. And about the
Patriots, starts that game? Do you think Cam Newton starts it, or do you think Mac
think
Jones?
It's going to be Cam Newton. My guess is going to be Cam Newton. And he's not gonna be able to really get the ball going for that game. I think for the second game against the Patriots, I mean, I'm a little bit looking ahead. That's gonna be Mac Jones for the second game. It's gonna be the last game of the season. But the first one is going to be Cam Newton.
Mac Jones, 281. Never mind. I don't know if you guys get that reference or not. But Wade knew what I was talking about. 281-330-80. Sorry, I'm sorry. There's an old rapper here in America named Mike Jones. And when Mac Jones starts, I'm gonna be saying that all on social media. Mac Jones. Okay.
Houston rap started and ended with the Ghetto Boys. All right, let's be very clear. In the immortal
Perry's.
words of the great Willie D, sometimes you gotta let him.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, we are Miami Sports Music. I got to give R.I.P. man, Biz Marquee, man.
Yeah,
That was so
Biz Marquee,
sad.
for those who don't know, so Biz Marquee, for a lot of the last part of his life, lived in a place called Norristown, which is about 45 minutes outside of Philly. And when I was a kid, I used to take the train from my sister's house in the suburbs back to the city, and I could see Biz Marquee's house from the train station from up top.
Okay.
It was a sad day, bro.
When I was a store manager back in the day for lids, many moons ago, Biz Marquee came into my store. True story. That really happened. Okay. And I wanted to be like on his thing in Men in Black. Oh, I didn't do it though. I didn't do the beatboxing for him or anything. All right, Paris.
What y'all know about TJ Swan? We're throwing.
Oh my
we're doing
God.
some throwback.
All right, real quick, Paris. Let's get into the first two games. We're going to New England, right? And they're always somebody that we just have a difficult time with. And then obviously Buffalo.
Yeah.
Tell me what your thoughts. How do you see it going?
Well, I also think like Chochos. I think we're going to win both games. Both games are going to be closed because I think New England up there in Massachusetts, it's going to be hard for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Cam is not going to keep his offense going against our defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the game against Buffalo is going to be a closer one. But I think our defense is going to control
the game.
And Josh Allen. Allen.
Here's the thing: if our defense controls Josh Allen and we win that game, I'm telling you right now, if we start out 2-0, or when we start out 2-0, you're not shutting me up because I'm be like, bro, Super Bowl contenders already. Let's go. Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care. Okay. And the reality is the first 6-7 games are really, really tough. But those first two games for me, you got to remember a loss to an AFC East team is like 2 losses.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, or at least a game and a half. And so, that's kind of when you got to look at it from that standpoint. Wade, what are your thoughts of the first 2 games?
All right, listen, everybody here's about to get romantic. I think there's a realistic shot we lose both games.
Oh,
now, I don't want it to
them.
happen. But listen, here's the thing, right? All right, so we open week 1 against New England, right? 2 things that are historically tough in the NFL. To win on the road in week 1 and to win on the road against Bill Belichick. And we have to do both those things week 1, right? Now, let's look at what our weakness has been historically on defense. It's been stopping running quarterbacks, it's been stopping tight ends, and it's been stopping running backs out of the backfield. Who catches the ball since Belichick has been there? Running backs out of the backfield. What did that team just spend a ton of money on in the offseason? 2 top-tier tight ends. Oh, and who's one of maybe arguably the 2 best running quarterbacks ever to win the MVP award? Cam Newton, who happens to be on the Patriots, right? Like, that week 1 game is going to be tough, and we could lose it on a heartbreaker like we've done so many times in New England, right? Now, the week 2 game is a little bit of a different story. And it's, normally I would say, like, if we had played Buffalo in Buffalo week 1, I'd be saying, yeah, let's get on to week 2. But week 1 in New England might actually set us up for success a little bit here because Buffalo doesn't have really good tight ends. They don't have much out of the backfield. I was a believer in Devin Singletary like 2 years ago, and I was wrong, so I'll call myself on that. The thing we got to worry about there is the running quarterback in Allen. Now, historically, Allen has a really good track record against us. Like Josh Allen against us it's insane. It's like 7 and 8 or something like that. I don't know the exact number. I'm sure someone out there will find it, correct me. But that being said, like Buffalo's defense is not what it used to be a couple years ago. They have a couple really good young DMs who I think could all break out. Gregor Rizzo, AJ Epinesa, Carlos Basham. But until they do, there's no reason to believe that they're going to be great, and they're definitely not going to do it by the second week of the season. So I think Buffalo is actually the more winnable game, despite the fact that over the last few years we have a better track record against New England. I would love to say, we're heading to week 3 with 2 wins on our back. I'm not jumping the gun yet. I think Buffalo is a more winnable game. I think we're definitely going to beat them when we play them at home later in the season. On the road later in the season because we put them in home week 2. Because I think our team's going to be kind of more flush, especially with the young kids. But don't be surprised. Like, if we're 0-2, it doesn't mean our season's over. Like, I counted those 2 as losses when I went in and had us with a winning record going to the playoffs. But the Patriots are going to be a really good team, man. I don't know why people are writing them off. They're clearly not paying attention.
Look, they're writing them off for good reason, in my opinion, right? Brady's gone. Cam Newton showed absolutely nothing last year. And Belichick did something that he's never done in the history of him being a head coach, and that's spend money in an offseason.
But
he doesn't do that.
I asked you this before. Has he ever had this much money to spend?
I mean,
it's not that they haven't spent. They spent on corner, right? They paid a lot of money to that one position, which is what we're doing right now with Byron Jones.
Dude, how many? Let's get something straight. How many times have we won the Super Bowl in February and March? I mean, excuse me, in April and June. How many times have we won the off-season Super Bowl? A million times. We've always found the biggest players. It doesn't ever lead to wins.
When were we 7-9, despite having the hardest schedule in the league and more COVID opt-outs than every other team combined, and still went 7-9 and then spent money? We spent money when we were a 4-win team, when we were a 5-win team. And by the way, we didn't even really spend that much money. We would get the top player. We would get an Ndamukong Suh, a Carlos Dansby,
Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace,
right?
Yep.
But that's it. Like, we didn't get the next 3. Like, they got the 2 best tight ends on the market. They got arguably the best edge guy on the market.
That doesn't add to wins.
By the way, they also got back 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers that had opted out during COVID last year.
So you think that they're going to improve upon last year is what you think. You think they're going to be a better team this year than they were last year?
100%. I mean, I don't know how you want to measure it. If you want to talk about record, 100%, I think they're going to be better. How could you not? You had a Pro Bowl defense
because two things. I don't think Cam Newton gets better. That's one. I don't think Cam gets better.
Cam's going to get better, but Cam's going to get hurt. And when Cam gets hurt, Mac will take over.
Mac's not that good. I don't know why people think he is.
He doesn't have to be. Tom Brady wasn't that good. It was Belichick's system. And here's the thing.
You can't say a statement like that about Brady now, Wade.
What do you mean? He literally took an offense in Tampa backwards. They had less production on offense this year than they did last year.
Wait, he won the Super Bowl.
That's true, with a better team and the softest schedule in the league. But he had less production on offense than Jameis Winston did. Here's the thing. The Patriots, you know what's not going to happen this year? They're not going to have 3 weeks of practice taken away from them in the middle of the season. That's not going to happen. They're not going to have 6 starters opt out because of COVID. That ain't going to happen. Stop sleeping on these Patriots, man. We got to get in there ready to grind when we play this team.
Well, look, I don't disagree that we need to sleep on them, but I don't think they're going to be better than they were last year.
I think they're going to be a little bit better, but not that much.
If we didn't have Flores, I'd be nervous about the Patriots. Flores knows that they're nothing to sleep on.
So you're telling me
we're going to play hard.
You think that we're going to have a more difficult time with New England than Buffalo?
But in week 1 and 2, yes. Later in the season, no. Later in the season, no. You're
outside your mind, bro.
Bro, let me ask you a serious question.
I don't think so.
Somebody in the chat box look this up. When is the last time New England played at home week 1 and lost?
I don't know.
Look, that
somebody
doesn't matter.
Please let me know. Somebody in the chat box. I'm sure.
I don't.
It's going to be in the 90s.
We won week 1 at Foxborough like 10 years ago, right?
No, we beat them in Foxborough like 2 years ago.
Week 17.
But it was
Yeah.
It was the last week of the season. But still, Wade just made the statement that the New England Patriots are going to be more difficult week 1 than the Buffalo Bills will be week 2. And Buffalo is, in my opinion, the best team in the AFC. I mean, no? Who's better? Kansas City?
The Chiefs for sure.
No, I think Buffalo is.
Bro, the Chiefs' biggest problem last year was their offensive line, and they got 3 Pro Bowlers on it now that weren't there last year.
Yeah.
Like, they're
with that.
They're really good.
But Buffalo got better too.
No, I don't think they
I don't
did.
think so. Yeah,
I don't think
I
so.
think that they just sustain his team. They just
Yeah.
make it even. I think.
If anything, I think they played over expectations last year. But I think they have 3 really good young defensive linemen that could make them better. But they probably won't click until later in the season. But it's a big if because AJ Epinesa, I thought, behind Chase Young and ahead of Etor Gross-Matos, I thought AJ Epinesa was going to be the best D end out of the draft last year. Now he's a 3-4 end; it's a little different, but he didn't even crack the starting lineup on a Buffalo team that was not good on the D line last year.
No, and I think he's not going to be good this year.
Well, you look at it; they drafted Gregory Rousseau, first round pick, right? And Carlos Basham was either a second or a third round
second,
pick.
yeah.
Second round pick.
Yeah,
so they
they got-
drafted 2 DNs. So they don't believe in him either.
But they are rookies, man. I don't think they have all the impact. Yeah.
Go ahead and say it, Paris.
Yeah. I don't
They're
think they
rookies.
will have the impact. I don't think they.
No,
will,
I agree.
they're
That's
gonna
what we're saying. And here's the other thing: Buffalo was very, very, very healthy last year. Like the chances that an NFL team
Well,
can
hey,
repeat that,
that's true.
like they were last year, that's very
That's
rare.
slimmed enough.
man.
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
rare.
and I think Josh Allen he plays very, very risky. He exposes himself a lot, and I don't think his luck is gonna last that much, man. I don't know.
I mean, no, I don't disagree with you. Here's the thing. Josh Allen played like crap the first 2 years of his career.
Yeah.
And Buffalo fans wanted his ass out the door. Gone. See ya. Bye. And it wasn't until Stephon Diggs came that it opened up that entire playbook and offense for them, for Brian Dable, by the way, former OC of our team.
Yeah.
Crazy to me.
Who, by the way, loved throwing to tight ends when he was here.
Yep.
But they haven't been able to figure that out.
Well, they got Stephon Diggs. You throw to Stephon Diggs if you have him.
Right. But Dable loves running the ball, too, and they can't run the ball either. Like, take Allen's numbers outside of their run game.
If you have Stephon Diggs, you use Stephon Diggs, bro.
Well, they're going to use Emmanuel Sanders now, too. But they lost John Brown, who, as much as I don't like him, was pretty productive for them over the years. But they've done nothing to address the running back position, man. I mean, they brought in LaShawn McCoy last year, the guy who doesn't tip waitresses in North Philly, by the way. They brought in like 36-year-old LaShawn. I don't know, he's in his 30s, but he obviously lost a step. And I agree with Pamela down healthy and lucky. Well, they didn't barely beat us. They torched us game one. Stephon Diggs had a big game, but also he was lined up against a rookie, Noah Igbenogany, who had no training camp because Byron Jones was hurt. You know, everyone's drooling over Byron Jones with Xavier Howard leaving. Byron Jones missed the first 3 games as a Dolphin, right? But yeah, like I mean, it could have been a different thing for sure. But here's the thing: what wins in the playoffs? We know this: defense and running game.
Mm-hmm.
What are the question marks around Buffalo right now? Their defense has gone down the last couple of years, and they cannot solve the running game outside of just running Josh Allen. And I really like Josh Allen. Like the kid's a baller. I'm not trying to talk negative about Josh Allen, you know, but like if Stephon Diggs gets hurt, what do they have?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
That's why I said later in
Cole
the
Beasley's
season,
not Stephon Diggs, though.
But this is why I said,
but it's another kind of receiver.
Cole Beasley works in that offense because
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Stephon.
Well, he's a slot guy.
Cole Beasley works because Stephon is there.
But he's a slot guy. What makes Josh Allen's ability to run is they can stretch the field with Stephon Diggs. When that's taken away, throw the slot guy all day. I don't care. I'll put Nick Needham on the slot guy. I'll put Justin Coleman or Jason McCourty on the slot guy. I'm not worried about that because then we can load the box again. Like, again, Allen's a baller, but if Stephon Diggs gets hurt, it's just Allen by himself. It's a nightmare. And this is why I said we're going to have a harder time with Buffalo week 2 at home than we're going to later in the season. I don't remember the week, but later in the season on the road. Because if they get one significant injury, it's over. And once we have more tape on what they're going to do, it's over. Like, we got them. But early on, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
All right, guys, this is the Miami Sports Music #1 show, Clock Blockers Evening Edition, hashtag Dolphin Chat Edition, whatever you want to call the show tonight. We're definitely doing the thing tonight. This is a big roundtable that we're going to have. We are waiting for Kflexin to get on. We're waiting for TDPhinsTalk, and we're waiting for Reason, who are about to come on here in a few. They're texting me behind the scenes. And then right now I currently have three amazing gentlemen themselves in their own right. Chochos and Paris from MSMpodcast, the brand new podcast on Miami Sports Music. That is Spanish speaking only. Say something in Spanish, guys, about the Miami Sports Music.
Claro. Chinguen a su madre los Patriotas.
What he said. I don't know what he said, but what he said.
We teach you this, man. Chinguen
I know.
a su madre los Patriotas.
Patriots
said,
suck.
Patriots.
I got it.
Go
I did it.
Yeah.
Also, we got Wade O from What Would Shula Do, who, by the way, if you guys haven't heard his latest podcast, absolutely amazing. Make sure you go check that out. And you see behind him, he's getting the fan cave, new place down there, and he's got the nice fan cave.
You know what I want to do?
Coming together.
Can I take it for a second? So I have a whole, this is my office studio. Like I got the projector set up for the Orlando fans, in case the bar shut down. Or Orlando, where do I live? Denver fans.
Denver, hello.
In case the bar shuts down again. I've lived all over Frisbee. But hey, I just had a thought. What would be really cool is like the stuff to add to these walls behind me when we're doing these shows. Like it'd be cool if it came from you guys. So if you guys have any random crap you would like to see like featured back on these videos, reach out to Steven. He knows how to get a hold of me and we'll set something up.
Yeah, we'll get the stuff.
That'd be really
there.
cool.
All right, I have somebody in the backstage waiting to come on. The newest member of the roundtable this evening, my man, newest member of the Miami Sports Music affiliates. I'm talking about my man Kflexin in the building. What's up, Kflex?
Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
Nobody
everybody
else said
talk.
nothing.
Everybody say hello.
What up, Kay?
Hey.
Hello, Kay.
What's up?
Hello, Kay.
All right, Kflexin,
Hello.
we got Wade O from What Would Shula Do. We have Chochos and Paris from the All Spanish podcast Phinside, and TD and Reason are going to be coming on here in a few, and a few other people are going to be coming on. So welcome to the program tonight, buddy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I was watching the Hellsfin podcast yesterday. It was good. I like it.
Did you understand it? Is the question?
I don't understand.
Oh, that's okay.
But I like it. I still was watching it.
They kept
Thanks,
saying
man.
Dolphins and Miami Sports Music, so I was like, I'm good. As long as they're talking Dolphins and Miami Sports Music, they're doing a great job. I'm good.
There's all kinds of nonsense, man. You don't even know.
All right, Kflexin.
What's up?
First
What's
of all,
up, Flipside? What's up, Rob? What's up, Strat? What's up, Dan? What's good?
if you notice, Kflexin's
Oh,
addressing
okay.
everybody in the chat box. Tonight, the chat box is for members only. All right, if you guys want to sign up and become a member, come on. Sign up, become a member today. The goal is to get 20 new members on tonight. We only got one. Come on, 19 more. Let's go. Sign up and become a member. It's awesome. All my people in the chat box, guys, tell them what they're missing. Let's go. You know how to do this. If you want to donate to the channel and help the channel grow, you guys can use the YouTube Super Chat, Cash App, or PayPal too. We're going to have a great time this evening. We're not even close to being done. So let's get in with Kflexin in the building. Kay, I guess I'll kind of review some of the topics that have already been discussed. First things first, let's talk about the first two games of the preseason, or of the season. Let's talk about having New England week 1, Buffalo week 2. What do you think that's going to be?
I think we're going to win both of the games.
Yeah.
Not like I can really speak on. I don't never say we're gonna lose. So
Wade just did. Wade just did.
But hey, you heard what he said, right?
Buffalo?
I don't never say we're going to lose. It don't matter.
Yeah. No. So the New England game, that should be relatively easy because I assume Cam Newton gonna be starting. I think it's gonna be easy. They suck.
That's what I said. Wade O says they're gonna be good.
Well, that's because he respects Belichick, probably. But I don't know.
There's most wins all time as a coach.
Yeah. Okay, the Bills suck. Well, the Bills are good. We played them in Buffalo, right? The first game.
No. They're down here in Miami.
Oh, is it Miami the first game? Buffalo.
Yeah. Week 2.
Oh, we better win, but I don't know. We better win if we're at home, but they're gonna be tough. It's gonna be depending on if we can stop Josh Allen running the ball.
Hey, look, man, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the first 2 games I think sets the season. And the sad part about it is you lose any of those games, it's like 2 losses instead of 1.
Truth be told, though, I feel like all right, how much better is Josh Allen gonna get? I know he's young, but after the last season he had, is he gonna get better or is he gonna get worse? I feel like he just has to get worse naturally. I mean, there's just no way he can play as good as he played last year. Well, he could if he's like all time great. But
well, I mean, we were just talking about it, and we said the only reason that he was good, right? He sucked his first 2 years. Let's be honest. Buffalo fans wanted him out of there. And the only reason he had such a huge,
I think he got better every year, but
Buffalo fans did not want him after year 2. But Stephon Diggs opened it up, and so that's what we were saying. Is Stephon Diggs made that offense flex?
So are we saying we're getting 2 or 3 years?
No,
that's what I'm saying. I'm giving him 2. No, I wouldn't give him 2. I give him 2.5.
What's that? What's he gonna get a touchdown in June? Maybe?
Well, I mean, look,
he got this whole season. No, he got this whole season. Then right after next season, if he start off slow, if we don't make we'll just kind of know. I think it's one of the things we don't gotta really talk about. I think it's one of the things we just know. Like you'll just watch Tua, and if he's not the guy, we'll just know. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't ready to get into the Tua talk, but since you guys are already
I mean, I saw it last year, but I guess I'm in the minority there. Huh?
You saw it good or bad?
No, I saw the good. I mean, I saw things you would expect from a veteran quarterback. Something, yeah,
well, you saw a lot of bad too, didn't you?
I wouldn't say a lot. I mean, I saw some rookie stuff, but I mean, we had Josh Allen started. Let's call a spade, bro. Like,
yeah. Now he's a rookie. Who cares? You figure it out.
I mean, so let's. So you think we're going 2-0 in the first 2 games?
Right.
Okay. Next question. So we found out today, it was released that Miami Dolphins are going to have 2 national preseason games live on TV. Week 1 will be August 14th at 1:00 live on NFL Network, and then the Week 3 game, I forget the date, but I believe it's on CBS Live. All right, and so we have 2 national broadcast games, and so the thing that I want to see the most is those 6th, 7th, and 8th wide receiver positions. Who do you think is going to make those last few slots?
What are the names of the people?
Well, I mean, look, we got who did we just we signed? Isaiah Ford, Albert Wilson, Alan Hearns,
Reuben Foster. Those are the 6, 7. You ain't gonna lie.
Well, no, there's more. I mean, you got Malcolm Perry, you got
Matt Collins.
Well, Malcolm Perry, I've been saying Malcolm Perry wasn't all that good. Not to me.
Well, we already have a better version of him in my man number 15 came from the Raiders. Lynn Bowden. We don't. Malcolm Perry's gone.
I love them all.
I love them all. That's fine, but there's only 6 or 7 positions. Right. Somebody's leaving.
I mean, they all can leave. None of them should ever touch the field. Like, what are you saying? You're saying Alan Hearns? He shouldn't touch the field. Who else?
Yeah, that's true.
Who are you saying? Malcolm Perry? He shouldn't touch the field. Whoever else you said shouldn't touch the field either.
I mean, look,
they all can go if all I care.
Here and you bring up a good point, because at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, Flex, all these guys in past Dolphins teams would be 1, 2, and 3, right? But now we actually have a stacked team. We have depth at positions, and so these guys that would normally start on past years' teams, they're not starting on these teams. That's why they're going to be at the 6th, 7th, or 8th slots of the wide receiver position. So for me, it plays a big role of depth. And the question for me is, and Wade brought it up earlier, and he brought it up about the Bills. There's no way Buffalo is healthy the way that they were last year, again this year. And so you have to worry about next man up mentality.
Right.
And so that's when it comes into play of the wide receiver. Like, I love Matt Collins, but I don't see Matt Collins making this team. There's no room for him.
No, I agree.
You know, I like Alan Hearns. There's no room for him.
Yeah, I can agree. Yeah.
You know, Malcolm Perry's the same way. I love Malcolm Perry, but I think Lynn Bowden is heads and leagues above him in talent.
He plays better. Yeah.
You know? So, look, I mean, that's right. Kind of where I'm getting with that from the wide receiver position. Is there any position that you're looking forward to seeing in the preseason, Flex? Or any particular players?
Xavier Howard.
If he's here.
And now
might as well go into it if he's here.
I'm looking forward to seeing the wide receivers. I think that's like the best battle, and I guess the center battle too, because everybody's saying that Dieter could start. I don't know. So I guess the center battle is cool.
Skura is better than Dieter.
Right.
Yeah,
but
Skura
I remember I made the video on Skura and I had people in my comments, Dieter's gonna start. You know what you're talking about. So I'm
There's
like,
a lot of
right,
people
whatever.
that do think that.
Well, hey, I like to get drunk too.
Well, I gotta respond to
That's
Big
not
John.
what's
Yeah,
gonna
John,
happen, though,
you're right. I do got the night off. I gotta work tomorrow though. But yeah, I'm off it. I'm
Kay
off
got
right
off
now.
the night. He's not gonna get fired. Yeah, there's a very for those of you who don't watch the show, Flex sometimes can be a little late to his job, his place of employment, because he's too busy being on the somebody's chat or channel. I'm not calling you out or anything, Flex. I wouldn't do that.
I try to tune in. It's exciting times. Like this is the best part about the NFL season. I think like right here when it's about to start, and then when it starts.
Oh,
this is the most exciting time.
Hey, by the way, so I just pulled these numbers because we was talking about it. And I was kind of interested. So Cam Newton against us, a team that's historically bad at running quarterbacks, over the last season was with the Patriots, averaged like 56 and some change and 1 rushing touchdown a game. That's only over 2 games, right? And we did markedly better the second game, but it's just something to keep an eye on, right? Especially week 1. Because we all talked about it here. I think we all pretty much agreed that like we're gonna have trouble stopping Josh Allen on the ground. Like we forget that there's a guy that won MVP of the league by being a running quarterback in our division. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean 100%. Chocho Saparis or Flex, do you guys want to take that?
I think it's not the same Cam Newton that won the MVP. He's not the same guy. You can tell. I could tell that last season. He's not the same guy that he was in 2015, I think. Yeah. I think he's going to lose his job by week 4.
I think, I'll tell you guys right now, what's going to happen is Cam's going to get hurt. Mac's going to get the start because Cam gets hurt. And then I'm not saying Cam won't ever see the field again. Those are just going to use some packages for him. That's how it's going to transition. Right? Cam's going to keep the job until an injury happens, which could be week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, it could happen any time knowing him.
I don't think so, because I don't think Cam can keep that offense going right now. The 2021 Cam Newton, I don't think he's gonna be able to keep that offense going. And Belichick is gonna make some changes, and that's gonna be Mac Jones, and I think he's gonna suck.
Who?
And I gotta love
Mac
it.
Jones. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm gonna do that to everybody when they say his name. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I won't do it again to you.
Hey, well, I'll tell you this, Steve. Let me just add this, right? A couple years ago, I want to say it was 2016, Mike Shula, who was the Panthers offensive coordinator at the time, got in trouble, quote unquote, with a lot of people because they asked him, what do you got to do to help Cam Newton? And
what would Shula do? What would Shula do to help Cam Newton?
Let me tell you, they said, we got to get him more Tom Brady passes. And everyone said, what's that mean? And he said, well, Tom Brady only throws the ball 3 yards down the field, but he throws quick throws to these guys that are going to fall forward. This is all. You can go look at the interview, look it up. Mike Shula said this. Where he's in a place where that's what's going to happen. They literally went out and spent the money on tight ends. They didn't spend the money on receivers. Nelson Aguilar's making like 7.5 a year. 8, I don't know what it is, but like he literally tailored the offense to not only Cam Newton's strengths, but the strengths of a young Tom Brady. A lot of quick, short passes, right? A lot of stuff that you get out of your hand quick to running backs, tight ends, receivers running short routes, a la Wes Welker, right? Like they're building it to go that way. They're building it to go when Cam gets hurt, they can hand the keys to Mac.
Okay, assuming you're right, man, assuming you're right, don't you think that they're going to take some time, some weeks to make that offense happen?
When it's based on talent, it happens right away. When it's based on scheme, it takes a little longer. He's got big, tough, tall guys that can fall forward with the ball. So is it going to take a while for it to be great? Yes. But you don't need to be great week 1. I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Like week 1 in the NFL, it's the big, tough guys that are ready to punch somebody in the mouth that win. It's the home team. It's the guys that didn't have to travel, the guys that aren't tired, the guys that don't have a complicated offensive scheme, the guys that don't have a complicated defensive scheme. There's a reason Lovie Smith's Bears had a winning record up until about midway through the season, right? And then went about 50-50 for the entire time because they played a soft, simple, we're going to run the ball, we're going to play a cover 2 defense, we're going to just tackle the guy in front of us type thing. Like Belichick has made his bones having a winning record early.
Well, what I think is that teams that have a better defense than an offense in the early weeks of the season have an advantage above the ones who has to implement an offense from scratch. And I think New England is in that place. And I think our defense is ready to go right now. I think this is my point of view.
You think that without X?
Well, I think what, and Paris, you correct me if I'm wrong. And by the way, I'm going to bring Cam in from East 32 Dolphins Tailgate. I said it right. Bang, bang.
What's up, fellas?
Cameron just checked into the hotel, just so everybody knows. Cameron, what's up, man?
How you doing, man? I'm here from up in Hutchinson Island, Florida. My daughter's got Junior Olympic swim states this weekend, so we're here all weekend. Just got touched in, so I appreciate.
Are we gonna see her in 4 years in the Olympics?
Hey, that's the dream, right? Well, 4 years, I don't know, but maybe 8. She's 10.
Hey, bro, I'm with it. I like it. That would be cool. That'd be pretty dope.
It'd be good stuff.
All right, Paris, just to reiterate, and then I'll bring you into the conversation here, Cam, or just to clarify, I believe Paris's point of view. He's saying that the offense, there's going to be time to click. You're going to have to worry about the smooth opportunities for them to get together, right? Like the detailed timing of the wide receiver and the quarterback, running up certain plays, so on and so forth. And so because of that, that might be the difference between a win and a loss for them. And so that's going to be the hindrance. Is that right, Paris?
Yeah, and that our defense is going to be ready to go in week 1.
Yeah, definitely.
I think.
All right, Cam, just to kind of bring you in here, bro, what I want to talk to you about is right now we have talked about the first 2 weeks of the year. So what do you think is going to happen in the first 2 games of the year when it comes to New England and Buffalo?
Well, I mean, if you come out of that 1-1, we're happy, right?
Yes, I believe so.
I agree.
We expect to beat New England. Just on paper. And, I'm hesitant to say anything about predictions only because, there's so much parity in the NFL outside of the real bottom dwellers like the Jets that, through training camp.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
Injuries, what have you, free agent pickups at the last minute, that all could tilt the scale, right? So really all the teams are working on this clean slate. But I expect 1-1, and I expect my expectations to give the Bills everything they can handle, and it wouldn't surprise me if we came away with a win.
Definitely. I would love to see that too. Now, what I will say is Wade believes that we're going to be 0-2. Flex, Chochos, and Paris and myself think we're going 2-0.
I didn't say we're going to be 0-2.
You said, guys, did you not say they were going to lose
the
first
first
2
chance
games?
that we lose the first 2 games.
Here's the thing, yo, you guys think we're like a bad matchup for the Patriots? I think we're a bad matchup. Like, if we stack the box realistically, y'all think Cam Newton can actually throw a 1-on-1 versus any cornerback that we have? I don't think so.
No
Cam he
way.
just don't got it. Like, he just doesn't. And so all we gotta do is stack the box. Pray to God he throws the ball more than 10 yards downfield, and we're gonna catch half of. He can't throw the ball.
What happened week 1 last year?
We had no Oh, don't get me started.
I don't even remember.
We got our asses whooped, but you know why? Because there was no preseason, there was no training camp. There was nothing. There was nothing there. We had a new playbook, bro. Why is this so difficult?
But did they not have the same thing? Did they not get their quarterback after we got our quarterback?
I don't know how.
I don't understand why you're writing this team off.
Here's what I think. I'll say this. I'll do you one better, Wade. I'll do you one better. New England doesn't go 500 this year.
How much you want to bet?
Well, I don't bet, but I'm just saying.
But I bet on that.
How much?
I'm not betting on that. I'm not betting on. Yeah, I would never bet against the Patriots. Even to this day, I just don't do that. It's not something I do.
As long as Belichick's there.
Yeah, it's not a good bet.
I'll bet on the Sixers.
I'll be real.
Right.
He did lose big. Big shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks, by the way, winning the NBA Finals.
Season ticket holder, Giannis. Steven, I'm not even going to get into it with Steven, but you already know. I told him Giannis, bro. That's that guy.
Giannis did his thing, man. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's kind of get into the trade talk since we're on here. We're still waiting for a couple of the other guys to join. So, guys, real quick, if you guys could check it out, make sure you guys sign up to become a member of the channel if you haven't done so already. The biggest reason, especially for tonight, is we're doing a members-only chat box. So if you want to chat with us and you want to get into the chat, sign up to become a member today, and you guys can chat with us in the box. Also, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Hit it, smack it, tap it, whatever you got to do. Make sure you hit that like button. And if you guys want to donate to the channel, Wade Perry's, just put your fingers up. Point them to the sky.
Okay.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah,
Yep, you guys donate to the channel. Cash App, PayPal, YouTube, Super Chat, whatever you guys got to do for that.
Since we're focusing on me real quick, I just want to point out that New England, before the COVID opt-outs last year in 2019, had the 16th ranked defense. Lost all them starters, and now they quote-unquote reloaded. So we talking about New England's defense. I'm just saying, be ready to grind with them boys. Don't expect to go in and be celebrating 7 touchdowns. You know, it's not what's going to be.
All right, I do want to bring up a big story that kind of broke this afternoon that I think is going to play a big. It's going to be a big storyline this year. Okay, so first things first, the NFL announced Thursday a new policy, basically stating that the new policy says a game. Here's what it is. Controls down. I'm trying to read it exactly and says what it says, but basically, whether so it's basically if your game is not rescheduled and you have somebody that gets caught with COVID and you have to forfeit, you're going to forfeit. It's going to go on the loss column for you. And they're not going to reschedule games and make the season longer. And so basically what I think, and again, I don't want to get political, but I think what the NFL is trying to do here is get players to get vaccinated because there are a lot of teams that aren't vaccinated.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to know what your guys' thoughts are on this because this could be a big thing this year in the NFL that teams could end up losing a game because they have a COVID outbreak. You know?
Order? How are we doing it, Steven?
Cam, you go first.
And I'll say real quick, I'm vaccinated. I to each their own, right? I just feel it's really hypocritical that you're going to mandate, NFL teams, which I think they should, to be at least 75% vaccinated, but you got 68,000 people in the stands who you're not checking. I just don't get that.
I would agree with that. Wade?
Well, here's the thing. So to my understanding, and again, I'm still waiting on that week 1 Patriots loss thing, but if someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, I think what the actual policy says is that they're going to enforce similar COVID rules as to last year in terms of like contact tracing and suspending people if they've been in contact and XYZ. But now if your team does not have enough staff and or players to actually play, they're going to try to reschedule the game, but if they can't...
All right, basically, here it is. I found it. If a game is canceled or postponed because a club cannot play due to COVID spike among or resulting from its non-vaccinated players or staff, then the burden of the cancellation or delay will fall on the club experiencing with the COVID infection. We will seek to minimize the burden on the opposing clubs or clubs. If a club cannot play due to COVID spike in vaccinated individuals, we will attempt to minimize the competitive and economic burden on both of the participating teams. Basically, it says we do not anticipate adding a 19th week to accommodate games that cannot be rescheduled with its current 18 weeks of the regular season.
So essentially, if you can't play in your bye week for whatever reason, which is most likely, right? Because likely the team that you're playing isn't going to have the same bye week as you.
Yeah.
Then your team is going to technically take a loss. But it goes a little deeper now because what they announced later on, and this is the part that I really have a problem with, is that if that game gets forfeited, players on both teams are going to lose game checks. Now, let me tell you something. First and foremost, I don't agree with taking anyone's rights away, but secondly, I don't agree with trying to compel anybody's behavior. If you've already had it or you think you're at health or whatever, that's your prerogative. That's I'm not here to tell you that's right or wrong. The fact that the NFL is stepping in and saying XYZ, that's their opinion, that's what they think. We could go for an hour and a half, which is, we don't want to take up the whole show talking about that. But when you're talking about I'm going to take a player's game check away, because somebody on the other team didn't do what I wanted them to do, that's like 2 or 3 level. Like, I don't know if I can be cool with that, man. Like, if you like, that's like if me and Steven got in an argument over the show and YouTube's like, well, we didn't agree with what Wade said because Wade's a drunk idiot, so we're going to take everyone's paycheck away. Like, that's not cool, man. I don't like that. Personally, like, I don't like the forfeit thing either. That's a little more like, it's kind of, I think, weird the way they chose to word it, but at least pay the players for being in there, man. Like, it ain't their fault. Like, you saw that last year they rescheduled that Steelers game like 2 or 3 times. Like, that ain't the player's fault. You know what I mean? That's the boss's boss. Like, don't punish the player individually. Don't take his check.
Kflex.
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
Yo, so here's the thing. I don't consider myself I don't know enough to really speak on. I don't want to speak on something that I don't really know too much about. The vaccination, I do know it doesn't stop you from getting COVID.
Correct.
So,
but basically, what the NFL saying is, if you don't take what they deem as the necessary steps to protect yourself, that if a breakout does happen, you're gonna and your team's not at 75% rate, you're gonna get a loss. You're gonna get penalized for it.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with it. Long we have a season, because I don't really want to I don't have that much strong of an opinion on it because it's so layered and it's way too layered for me to get into right now. But it's like it's so many layers to it. I would be talking about it, but because I don't want to get into it too much. But as long as we get football, I don't really care. I'm only gonna care when the Dolphins get.
Flex is like, I just want to play. I just want a season.
Now, if I have more information, because this is something that if I speak out of turn on, it's not a cool thing to really speak out of turn on. I don't think.
Paris.
Well, man, that's an issue down here in Mexico. All the vaccination, all the things. Mm-hmm. I'm with Flex in this. I only want a season, man. I only want to see my Miami Dolphins. Other things are out of my control. I cannot control that.
Chochos?
I had a similar doubt about what happens, because if you get the vaccine, you can still be positive for COVID. Correct. What happened to those guys? And at the end of the day, it's about protecting everybody from a spread. What happens if that is the player that it's COVID positive? It's a vaccinated player, and for what I understood, it's that it doesn't apply. You don't forfeit.
Correct. Basically, they're saying, look, if your team is 75% or more and there's an outbreak, they'll do what they can to reschedule.
Okay.
If your team is not at 75% vaccination and you get an outbreak, that's on you, and you're going to get a loss.
Well, that's great for us, right? Because we're
way over that. We're way over that.
I think we were the first of second team we were above 75%.
The Dolphins are not going to have to worry about this, is basically what that comes down to from what it sounds like. Real quick, want to give a big shout out to Big Time. The Patriots, the last time they lost week 1, Wade, was a 31 destruction at the hands of Buffalo in 2003. There's your answer. He also, with a $10 donation, give a big round of applause for Big Time. I appreciate the love there, Big Time. The Cowboys' streak of 17 consecutive week 1 victories is safe for now. That's because the Patriots, in losing 33-20 to the Dolphins, had their 10-year streak snapped in Miami on Sunday of 2014.
So first of all, big shout out to him. Thank you for donating, brother. Like, this all goes back to making sure we can get better content than idiots like me ranting on here. But second of all, I said the late 90s, I was close. But, I mean, look at that. 18 years. Like, and hey, listen, I hope it's 0 years as of 3 weeks from now or a month from now, whatever it is. Like, I'm trying to be realistic here. I know we got a lot of Miami sports music guys. I'm not gonna call nobody out in general, but the big idiot that makes the music sometimes is, I've heard him say 17-0 for about.
He said 20-0. Get it right. Know what Solo says.
Where's my brother at? But he'll tell you we ain't ever losing. You listen to him. So
Solo's like undefeated every year.
Here's the thing. Those might be the only 2 losses through September, October, and most of November.
So let's talk about that real quick. And Flex, I'll bring you in. Flex, you've looked at the schedule. I don't know if you have the schedule right in front of you, but is there any team that stands out for you that you could see being a loss? Like what are some games that scare you?
I don't say we're gonna lose.
You're going. Oh, so you're pulling a solo D2.
I don't say we're gonna lose. It's impossible. But I'll tell you what's gonna be a different game.
So what team is going to give us what games are going to be the one that's going to give us the most trouble?
I can tell you. Oh, you want to say Ravens? There it is. I don't even have to look too long. And also the Titans, because Derrick Henry is crazy, and I don't know how our run defense is going to be. Wow, I have confidence in it, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's interesting to see, right? What if, and I'll get back to, I don't want to get into the trade talk, but let's just say Christian Wilkins is a part of a trade that happens this year.
Oh,
that's gonna hurt the defensive run, right?
Why would we ever do that?
Yeah, same question.
Why? I mean,
Yeah,
look,
why?
all right. So see, now you're gonna make me get into it. Okay, so if we end up trading for Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
right?
You didn't say that part.
But you knew where I was going with it.
That part. Deshaun Watson. Okay.
Flex wanted me to say it. He's like, just say it.
Let's
Just say it. You know you want to say it. But like if Wilkins is a part of that trade, that hurts the defense. That hurts the run defense, and the run defense is going to be a big portion of stopping guys like Derrick Henry. Against the Titans, it's going to be a big part of stopping Lamar Jackson. Against the Ravens.
If we get Deshaun Watson, I won't even care about defense. We're scoring 40 points a game.
Mad at you.
Care. We're gonna go up 30. We're gonna score 40.
Cam, you're shaking your head, bro.
Man, you're smoking that Baltimore ditch weed, bro.
yo, if we get Deshaun Watson, how are we not scoring 40?
Shout out to Cam.
No, I'm not talking about you, Kflex. I'm talking to this clown up here.
Yeah.
Why?
Not you.
Why are you talking to me?
Listen, Wilkins wasn't drafted where he's drafted just to get rid of him after 2 years.
I'm telling you, they're not giving up. He's part of a package for Watson. I guarantee
Watson ain't coming here. They've invested way too much in Tua. Absolutely. I mean, they've built this program around Tua. They've drafted this past year for Tua. Like, Watson ain't going to come here. And Ross doesn't want the issues. Neither is Flores. Neither is Greer. Like, he's still got pending civil cases. Like, 238 of them. Like, do you think they want that in the locker room, that distraction? There's no way.
I
don't care how good he is.
Hey, Deshaun Jackson assaulted me since we've been on this show. I said Jackson, Jesus. Deshaun Jackson pulled his hamstring since we've been on this show.
That too.
Listen, I agree with Cam, but listen,
of course you do. Of course you agree with Cam.
Nonsense out of here. I'm a Power Ranger Christian Wilkins guy. I don't even remember what the original question was, but I know you're wrong. So it had something to do with listen. Stop. Christian Wilkins is here for the remainder of his contract. I want him to earn a third down spot, right? Because so far he's come off the field in third down. So a lot of that has to do with our blitz packages, this, that, and the third. But like you don't stop. Deshaun Watson. The day Deshaun Watson is a Dolphin, we're gonna have a whole other set of issues. Like, why is Wade on top of the skyscraper with a rifle?
The day Deshaun Watson is a Dolphin, we're gonna have a lot of good positive stuff. But he's never gonna be a Dolphin. He's not gonna be a Dolphin, so I'm not gonna defend Deshaun Watson because I know he's not coming to the team. If he did come to the team, y'all would be excited. Even the people acting like, I don't really want Deshaun. Deshaun comes to the team tomorrow, y'all are crying tears of joy and on the ground.
On the field, absolutely we take him, but he's not gonna happen.
Are we talking about off the field? Off the field, I heard innocent until
100%.
And I will also say this, Flex. If he comes, it's because there's some sort of guarantee that there's going to be no off-the-field legal repercussions. Like the Dolphins will have done their research knowing there's going to be no criminal charges and all the off-the-field stuff with the current –
Yeah, I believe it's a pipe dream. I believe it's a pipe dream.
I get arrested 3 times at tailgates.
Here's my thing. Yo, I love you just want to keep the team the exact same right now. Like, I don't want to trade anybody. But I see like a lot of people, oh, we need to trade for X or we need a guard or whatever. I just want to keep the team. I think our team is straight. Like, I don't want to just make any moves. I just want to rock with who we got. And hopefully X show up and we'll be good.
Hey, I remember the question. I actually agree with Kflexin about outside of the Bills and the Patriots game I already talked about, because when I say Bills, I mean both. The first game that's going to be really tough for us outside of those three is probably going to be Baltimore, which is in mid-November. And it's, again, because we struggle to cover the quarterback that can run. And say what you will about Jackson. I'm personally a big critic of Jackson. I think that it's ridiculous that we had an NFL MVP at quarterback that threw for less than 4,000 yards, despite the fact Tannehill did it every year and he was a bust somehow. But, like, at the end of the day, what the kid can do on the ground combined with what their defense could do to potentially limit us, because Marcus Peters is still a baller, is concerning, right? But realistically, if we lost that game, the two Buffalo games and the New England game, I still have us going 8-4 to start the season. Like, the rest of the schedule is nonsense. Now, when you get
Who's the 4 losses against?
I just said, like I said, even if you say the Patriots, the 2 Bills games, and the Raven games, I still have us opening the season 8-4.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Like, realistically, until we get to this at the Saints 2 days after Christmas on Monday night, and then the week after that at the Titans the day after New Year's, which, by the way, I will be at that Titans game in full effect. I think a lot of the Rocky Mountain DWA crew, a lot of people, I know Cam's going. I know there's a big Dolphins fan go, we're going to show up in Nashville just like we did for the draft. But, like, until we get to those 2 games, I realistically do see us winning 8 of the 12 games before that. And a lot of them I don't even really see as competition, like Jacksonville, Atlanta, Houston, Buffalo. Like, I already talked about Buffalo, like the Jets.
Hey, Wade.
Carolina, the Giants. Like, they're not good teams, man.
Wade, I'd like to throw out and see what you guys think about that Las Vegas game, because it's in Vegas, right?
Well,
and secondly, we needed the Hail Mary last year to beat those guys, and they've gotten better over the off season.
That's a Scooby-Doo. That's a Scooby-Doo team. For those of you that are old like me, when y'all watched Scooby-Doo back in the day, like, they tried to solve the mystery, but there was really only 2 people in the entire show that wasn't them, right? Like, you had a 50-50 shot. Like, that's what it is with the Raiders. Like, the Raiders either show up and play better than they should, or they show up and play awful compared. I remember my cousin Deneen, maybe out there right now, shout out to her. I remember I was in her wedding and I sat in the lobby watching the Dolphins-Raiders game on my phone many years ago. Like, the Raiders either play way better than they should or way worse than they should. There's no in between. If they play way better than they should, I think maybe it's a 50-50 game. We should still beat them. If they do the Raiders move and play worse, we should destroy them. But I also remember we had that night game where Gorilla came to Miami and we were the shoe-in, and look what happened there. So,
hey, guys, real quick, I want to let Paris get out of here. Paris, you have any final words before you get out of here, big guy?
Not much. So, only fins up. Love you guys. Nice to meet you all. And thanks for having me here.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Hey, guys,
Good to meet you, Paris.
Go follow, go watch the first episode of Hellfins.
Please.
Isn't that right, Paris?
Please. Yeah, please do.
All right, Paris, have a good one, brother.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
No problem. All right, guys, just so you know, this is the Miami Sports Music Roundtable, Clock Blockers Roundtable episode, evening edition. We got a lot going on. The reason you saw me step off screen for a second is I got a text from TDPhinsTalk, and he called me. TD's having a family emergency, so TD's not going to be able to make it. I know that means all of our viewers are probably going to go away now because everybody was waiting for TD. I'm just playing. Guys, don't go away. All right, we got a lot of cool stuff to still talk about. We got a little bit of time left. And I'm still hoping to have Reason come on. Reason hasn't gotten back to me yet. I know he said he was having some trouble with his stream. So hopefully we get him on and we'll be good to go. I do want to get into some more talk from a standpoint of the Dolphins and what the fan base is going through every time somebody talks about Xavier Howard trade, because this seems to be a topic of controversy in the fan base. And the fan base is pretty split. They're pretty split about this. What do you guys think about, A, Xavier Howard getting traded, and B, your thoughts on the fan base being very divided about this. Kflex?
Xavier Howard trade?
Yeah.
Yo, here's the thing. Like, I've seen some of the scenarios. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And it's like when you really admitting, like in the scenarios, it's crazy because I watch the videos and I look at the articles, and then in the scenarios, we're literally admitting we're not going to get anything equal value, but then we're still like, hey, let's trade him. We're like, yeah, let's get something that's never nowhere near equal, but let's do it just because he's mad. Like, no, I don't care if he's mad. Listen, I'm keeping Xavier Howard. We're not getting nowhere near equal value. There is no equal value because there's nobody that in the league that got 10 picks. Even if we got a corner, he's not going to be Xavier Howard. There is no equal value. And again, not that somebody's angry means that you have to trade him. And I'll say that we did it with Minka. And I know that's a different situation and people defend that. I don't defend that. But not that somebody's mad means you have to trade him. I will keep Xavier Howard or I will make him retire.
And he's not retiring, not for all that money.
Exactly. So I'll keep him. But I'm looking at people like, oh, let's get a running back in the second round. Are you serious, bro?
So here's the reality. There's nothing that you're going to trade him for that is going to let you have what he's worth. It's just not going to happen in any way, shape, or form. Like what he's worth, you're never going to get.
So why trade him?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's worth trading him, you know? I think you play the game of chicken with him, and he's not going to sit out. He's not. There's just no way that he sits out. Cam, what are your thoughts?
I'm with Kflexin. He said it last week. You know, you play or retire.
Go ahead,
Simple
Wade.
as that, you know?
No, wait. I know you got to step away for a minute. You go step away for a minute. Go ahead, Cam. I'm sorry.
Just real quick, I'm on agree with Cam. Like, yo, X is a Dolphin or he's chilling at home. That's my opinion, bro. Fins up.
Wade will be right back. He had to get on screen for a second to fix something. What I will say is when you're looking at the Miami Dolphins and you're looking at the standpoint of, you know, what they should do in this scenario, you're never going to replace Xavier Howard. That's one. So everybody's like, oh, you get first round draft pick. Hey, you can replace some. You're not going to get a player of his caliber. It's never going to happen.
The sweetest one, I think, was the Saints first because Drew Brees not there no more. So I was thinking like, okay, maybe they might suck, but at the same time,
you're still hoping.
That's the sweetest one. I'm just saying, if I'm playing like the other side, I'd be like, that's the sweetest one to me.
And here's the thing: I think he's worth 2 first-round draft picks. So what are you going to get along with him? A first and a what? Somebody that's not going to make a big difference on our team.
All right. What do you think is the sweetest draft? I mean, there's no sweet trade, but what is the sweetest trade that you've seen? I know y'all have all seen the scenarios.
I mean, like everybody who says you trade him with Xavier and to package him for Deshaun, that's never going to happen. Houston's in a rebuilding mode. Even if they do want to trade Deshaun, they're like Xavier and Howard's not who they're going to go after. And so that's out the window. Aaron Rodgers is staying in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, you know, Xavier and Howard would be a good fit in Green Bay. But what do you let's say Green Bay says, hey, we'll give you our first round draft pick and, you know, a center or, you know, some sort of backup, whatever. Like, what are you, a 30th pick? Because that's what Green Bay is going to be, 25 through 30th pick. Like, it's not worth it. I don't have a good answer for you on what the best pick I've seen so far, bro. Like, the best trade scenario is to keep him, don't trade him, and just let him. Like, I think he's going to be here week 1. There's no way he sits out the season.
He did.
Go ahead, Flex.
I think he's muted. But yeah, he did put on social media when he's like the slow turtle wins the race or something. And I was like, yeah, he's not coming to training camp. I was like, yeah, he's not.
And I don't care if he comes to training camp. Sit out, have fun, enjoy being at home. I don't want him to get hurt. Put your feet up, relax, become ready to play week 1. All right, Wade, what are your thoughts?
I don't know, man. We've seen a couple guys skip training camp and start the season slow. We can't afford that. I want to say this. I think the craziest thing I heard right now is that the Saints are going to be trash because they don't have Drew Brees. Like, listen.
That's what Flex just said.
There's a very good argument, which I personally probably agree with, to be made that Drew Brees is not only the best quarterback of all time, but easily the best. But here's the thing. They had a winning record over the last 2 years when he missed games. And it was it was like a 75%. Like, their record since Drew Brees became the quarterback when they didn't have Drew Brees is better than the Patriots record without Tom Brady since Tom Brady became the quarterback. Not only Sean Payton, an offensive mastermind, but the Saints had a very good defense last year. A very good like the Rams were the best. There's a good argument to be made that the Saints were the second best. And that's before they got a dude like X. Like, number one, I don't think they have the money to take on X, and I think they have bigger problems. But the Saints are going to be good. And I only say this, and I only go into this detail because we play the Saints pretty late in the season. We play them December 27th. Like, there's a very good chance that by the time that game comes around, that's a game that means something for the playoffs. So don't sleep on the Saints. But at the end of the day, I've said this time and time again, the only team to me that has enough ammunition to land X, I don't think will trade for X. And I think that's the Detroit Lions because they have the money and they have 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years, so they can give us 2 this year, right? And I just don't think they're going to do that for a quarterback that'll be 29 before, or a corner, I should say, that'll be 29 before the season's over, that missed as many games as he did over the last couple of years. I know the Cardinals want him because I think I quoted the exact numbers the other day. I think X over the last 3 seasons has 22 interceptions. The Cardinals over the last 3 seasons have 25, even though X missed like over 10 games in 2019.
Yeah, he missed 35, 40%.
Was it 11 or 12 in 2019?
Something like that.
It was one of those 2 numbers. Either way, the Cardinals could probably use him the most. I think Detroit probably makes the most sense, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Flores has talked about him as a team dude. Like, he's going to be here.
Go ahead, Cam.
I agree with Wade. Like, he's not going anywhere. We said it before, and everybody on this panel has said it. Like, he either plays or sits. And, and there's another factor here. It's his pride. It's his team. It's his teammates that he'd be letting down if he weren't on the field. And I think that matters to him. I think you see him week 1, and I don't mind if he misses, training camp or at least most of it, because it's less wear on his body, right? I know he's getting prepared. You see it all over his IG. He's I can't remember the name of the facility. It's not Bomberitos, but it's the one over in Weston, Athletes First, that he's practicing with, and he's getting, NFL quality training in now. Like, we're good. Like, he's either going to play or sit out the season and miss that bank like Rob Gossard said. And that ain't going to happen. Players love the money.
I am a little bit pessimist about it. The best answer for me is I don't know what is going to happen. I agree that the few teams that do have the ammunition to come for a fair trade for X, or let's call it fair trade, those teams are not a player away to be a contender.
Detroit's not a player away.
Exactly. I mean, the only team that I at some point thought that maybe fool themselves to try to think that they can be 1 player away, the only team that I actually came with it was the Eagles. I don't think they are a player away, but I thought that maybe they can fool themselves to think they are a player away for the division.
Philly,
because of the division they are in.
Delusional.
Well, and look, they have I don't know if you say a good track record or a bad track record, either one. They have a track record of making some serious stupid trades. And, and so that's the other thing too. Look at what Greer did with Bill O'Brien.
Exactly.
He took that man he robbed him. He robbed him.
That dude fired, bro.
He robbed him without a gun. He said, "Bro, just give me your wallet and your money." All right, here we go.
He not only fired that man, he retired that man. He's never going to have a GM job again.
That's why I'm saying I think Greer is a GOOG GM. Okay, that man has got skills upon skills upon. I'm just saying he is the man. Like if anybody can pull off a ridiculous trade for X, it would be him. Like, it would not.
That's a ridiculous trade, though. Jalen Ramsey Jalen Ramsey and Jamal Adams got traded for 2 firsts and a 3rd and 4th, respectively. 2 firsts is not a ridiculous trade. 3 firsts.
I don't see no team in the NFL doing that.
And the Eagles have at least 2 first-round picks for the next draft because they have ours.
They have ours, and they had the Saints. Or I'm sorry, the Colts.
So do we get our draft pick back?
Yeah, a 3rd. So I'm sorry. The Colts, listen, the Colts pick for Carson Wentz is a second-round pick that will turn into a first if either Carson Wentz plays 75% of the snaps or Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps and the Colts make the playoffs. Now, here's the thing. The more snaps Carson Wentz plays, the less chance they have of making the playoffs because the kid is horrible. He threw the worst interception I have ever seen.
Did you realize he was MVP talk before his injury?
Yeah, he was MVP talk with like 2,700 yards. It was just because he had touchdowns. It's nonsense. Carson Wentz threw maybe the worst throw you'll ever see. If everyone goes and looks this up, Eagles versus Seattle last year, Carson Wentz interception. You can find it on YouTube. It is the man sets with no pressure in a cover two and throws to the back safety perfectly with no receiver anywhere near. Like he thought the safety was a receiver. It's the worst throw you'll ever see. This is a kid that, by the way, I have a friend who's a nurse in a Philadelphia hospital that after his concussion before last season, at first they thought he was never going to walk again. That's how bad his brain damage was. That guy's never going to be anything special. Sorry, Steven.
No. Yeah. Tell me how you really feel.
That's a case of a team. Sorry for that. It's a case of a team, the Colts, a team that think they are a player away.
They do.
And I don't think they are.
No.
And I think
all you need to do is find a GM stupid enough to do it. All right, hey, guys, real quick. We got a new person in the back room. Can't wait to bring him in. You guys love him. He's awesome. I love him. Phinside the NFL. Go check him out on YouTube if you haven't done so already. I'm talking about my man Reason. What's up, Reason?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
How you doing, man? Thank you for showing up to the party, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. My bad. I was just recording an episode with Ball Game and Richmond Webb, so that's why I'm late.
Look. If you're late because of Richmond Webb and Ball Game, I totally get it. I understand. Especially Ball Game can probably talk your head off for hours, so I understand. I get it. All right, Reason, let me kind of bring you into the conversation, man. Right now we're talking about X. We're talking about the fan base being split. And what is a realistic trade? And how do you find, Chocho's brought up a really good point. How do you trick a GM to thinking they're one player away? Because there's no team that's probably like one player away that has the draft capital or the ammunition to pull off an X trade.
I think the Browns could.
Okay.
I think the Browns, that secondary would be disgusting.
But even with John Johnson and Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward, who in my opinion is one of the most underrated corners in the league. And then didn't they get Greg Newsome in the first round this year?
They drafted Greg Newsome, my favorite corner in the draft. He's an upgrade over everyone you just named.
Over Denzel Ward?
He's a better corner.
X is the best in the league.
I love Denzel Ward.
Jalen Ramsey is the best in the league.
Okay.
David Howard is top 3 for sure. 2 at worst, probably.
Okay, so I'm not even going to get into all that because I think.
I would argue Ward might be 4. Like if I'm being like.
So, but what does their draft look like?
You put him opposite of Denzel Ward too. He's better than Greedy Williams.
That'd be a
it gives you time to if you're going to run diamond ruby packages, 5 DB, 6 DB sets. That's where you can go and use Greg Newsome early on in his career. There's not a ton of stress for him to perform right away.
Well, is the move to put Greedy Williams in a nickel slot and include Greg Newsome as part of the X trade?
Well, I'm not a huge Greedy Williams fan.
Well, I'm not the biggest guy either, but he would do better in the slot.
The question is, though, what does Cleveland give up for X? Like, what is realistic for that?
Kareem Hunt in a second or a first.
Sign me up. Sign me up for Kareem Hunt in a first. I'm taking that all day. Anybody oppose that trade?
That team needs as many DBs as possible in that division.
You all oppose that? I need to hear why.
Well, oppose what?
If Kareem Hunt in a first rounder for X. Everybody opposed except for me. Okay, Chochos, you go first.
Kareem Hunt in a first? I don't think so. I think at least 2 draft picks. A first, a second, and a player. At least.
But Kareem Hunt's arguably top 5 running back in the league.
No way. No way.
I don't.
You don't think so?
He's borderline top 10 when you give him the
Maybe.
actual
Bro,
volume.
he'd be
When you
crazy
give him
in
the
our
volume.
I can name 5 better than him off the top of my head.
He's damn
Like,
sure better than anybody
12
we
better
have
than
at
him
running
over.
back right now. He's light years upgrades than
You ain't
anybody
wrong.
What does
we
that have
have in
to
the
do with his
backfield.
worth, though? Like, this is
Well,
a guy who's
Dolphin
going
fans
to be
need to get it out of
27
their
before the
head.
season starts.
You're not getting a Laramie Tunsil type of haul for Xavier Howard.
I mean, I agree,
But
which
they
is
got one
my point.
for Ramsey
You're
and
not
Jamal
getting
Adams.
what X is worth, which is why it'll never happen.
Dude, Jalen Ramsey was 24, 25 years old in his prime when he traded. He didn't have
They went to Ramsey and they had no money.
but he didn't have potentially arthritic knees on his hands. Dude, you're not getting a Ramsey. You're crazy if you think
I
you're
don't
getting a
think so.
Ramsey
I think
haul.
it's what he's worth. I
That's
just think
not
he'll never get it.
happening. He's not
This is why-
26,
well, listen.
25 anymore.
This is why the Saints are in the conversation, because the Saints have shown over time they don't care about it. Just like the Seahawks, right? They're going to give up those picks for the players. The Seahawks
Well, they're in the
gave those up
conversation
for
because
Jamal
Marcus
Adams.
Lattimore has gun charges right now, and they don't
Right.
know gun possession
Well-
charges. They don't know if he's going to be able to go.
Where did Lattimore spend a lot of time when he was a kid? Philly. I could have told you he was going to have gun charges 7 years ago. But my point is, though, like Jamal Adams, like a safety has never been traded before he was traded. Seattle was willing to give it up. There's a couple teams that have that rhythm.
Prime.
The Chiefs, strangely enough, are showing that they may be one of those teams. And I was a big proponent last year of trying to bring in Tyrann Mathieu. But here's the thing. We talked about this, and I'm sorry, reason you wasn't here earlier. But like, I don't think anybody but the Lions have the ability. When I say the ability, I mean both the capital and the flexibility in terms of like, who gives a shit? Sorry, I always get yelled at the person on here. That like to actually give this up. Like they're the only team that not only has the draft picks, but also like the flexibility financially, the flexibility in terms of like they just got rid of Darius Slay, who may be one of the best corners the team's ever had, despite the fact the team's never really had a lot of good defensive players in 80 years or whatever it is. Like, there's not really many people that have to give it up, which is why X should stay here, right? Isn't that we all agreed? Like, he should stay here because no team has the ability or the capital or
there's 3 different questions, and Flex, I want to get to you in a minute. There's 3 different questions here, right? Can you get what X is worth? I think we all agree the answer is no. The question is it worth trading him? No matter if you can get what he's worth or whatever, you just take the highest bid. I think the answer is no. And then the third question is, realistically, what type of trade are you going to get from him? And the reality is, reason's correct. We're never going to get some ridiculous amount that we got for Laramie Tunsil. I think he's worth 2 first-rounders, but you're never going to get that for him in a million years. And so it goes back to Chochos, what he was saying, and saying that you have to find a GM that's like Bill O'Brien. You have to find a stupid GM that thinks they're a player away, that has something to be able to offer up. And so I love the idea, though. I would take Kareem Hunt all day in a first-round pick for X if X is literally that unhappy here. Flex?
Oh, my bad. Yo, so yeah, the 3 questions, boom. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no, I mean, just your thoughts.
yeah.
Like, why do you not think like Hunt is like that's a good deal to me? I don't understand why.
Hunt's cool, but like running backs, like you know how many good running backs is gonna come out for the couple years? It's not gonna be another corner like X. It's gonna be some Kareem Hunts in the world, like every year, damn near. We can get a running back if we get a 20th pick. We can get the best running back in. Like if no matter, we don't have our pick this year, do we? I don't think so.
We have San Francisco's pick.
San Francisco's. Yeah, but either way, like we can get a running back, literally a good running back every single year. We're not getting X, bro.
So why haven't we done so already then? And
I don't know. As a team, because we got
That's a
Noah
great
instead of
question.
we got Noah instead of every running back was on the board still. I think
Because they don't want to trade him.
Cam?
No, you go back to the question about Kareem Hunt and his value to the Dolphins. Like Greer is showing that they don't value the running back position as a marquee position to spend the money on, to draft a first-round draft pick or a second or a third even. And it's the system that makes the running back, not the running back that makes the system in Greer's eyes. That's the way I see it. So why are you going to,
that's a fact.
Trade X
for
Kareem Hunt? Like, what does he provide? Does he provide that much of an upgrade over the system that they've devised with Gaskin and Ahmed and with Brown and Dokes? playing two different roles in that, running back by committee.
Serious
Kareem
question.
Hunt needs, yeah.
What's
He's better
his
than
name?
our whole
Ohio
committee.
State, J.K. Dobbins. If
He's
J.K.
better than our whole
Dobbins was
committee
there
combined right now.
in the second round last year,
Thank
do we draft J.K.
Not
Dobbins?
even close.
If Javonte Williams was there when we draft Javon Holland, and I'm a big Javon Holland guy, y'all know this.
Yes, we would have
Do we
drafted
draft
Javonte Williams. if he was
Javonte
there.
Williams. Like,
Yes.
that's 2 years in a row, a guy that was heavily linked to us, heavily favored to us, heavily, all that stuff, went right before we picked. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Raekwon Davis, who we ended up picking, or Javon Holland, who we ended up picking. I'm huge fans of both. If you go back and watch the stuff I was talking about before 2 years ago's draft, I was saying I pray we get Raekwon in the third round, right? Like, I'm a fan of both those guys, but do you honestly think if the talent was there, we don't get it? Or is it just a matter of we're not going to pay to move up to not get the talent? Because remember, last year we brought in Howard, who was a stud on paper. We brought in Breda, who the year before had the fastest track speed of any player in the game. Like, it's not that we didn't try to address the position. It's just that we failed at doing it. So is it that we haven't allocated the right resources, or is it we just don't care about it?
It's not that they don't care, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know for a fact they tried to trade up for 23 with the Minnesota Vikings, and it's what the Vikings wanted, the 36th, the 50th, and a day 2 pick, and they said no.
Yeah, which I don't think would be the right move anyway. That's
I want to hear
lot.
what Cam finish your statement.
But they could have drafted the kid out of Alabama with one of the top 3 picks, right? With one of their first rounders, right? But they didn't. They didn't have the right.
2 picks.
Yeah, Najee Harris.
Well, no, we had 2 first rounders
picks,
this year.
2 picks.
We would have took him.
Sorry,
18
2 picks
if we took him.
Correct. So that
Which would have
he
been the
was there.
highest any team spent on running back, by the way.
Right, and so they don't value the running back position at there. And to Reason's point, they
Well,
valued
nobody
him
did.
later in the second or third point.
But nobody valued
But wait, that's a bad that's a bad answer. It's not a good example.
But going back to my
If the
point,
Dolphins are running back away from a Super Bowl contending team, I don't care if you have the 12th overall pick. You freaking go get your running back and say, have a nice day.
I mean, how hard do y'all think it is to get a running back realistic? Like, I mean, it's not like that.
I think it's hard. We haven't done it yet.
It's not hard.
Most people think. Everybody says
Wade just made the point. Wade just made the point. Howard and Breida,
Howard was wait. Y'all thought
they were trash with us.
When we got Howard, he had the 3rd most yards since he's been in the league.
Right.
Like, everybody says this every year, and I'm not saying that we did anything wrong with what we did with the picks, but everybody says every year, oh, running backs are a dime a dozen. Yet there's a dozen teams like us that haven't been able to fix the running back position. The Jets drafted a new running back. The Bills' running game suck. I'm just talking about our division. The Patriots don't have a clear-cut number 1 running back. Like, everyone says they're a dime a dozen.
I have a question.
But there's only 5 or 6 good ones in the league. How does that work?
Why was Mike Davis so good with the Panthers last year? Why y'all think he had like
because
the best
they were
season?
scared to let Teddy Bridgewater throw the ball, so they just gave it to Mike Davis at all costs.
I just feel like running back so scheme dependent and like
was Mike Davis
offensive line
good? Didn't he
dependent.
have like 3.8 yards a carry?
I think he was great. Well, I'm in fantasy, but I think he was great. And Mike Davis and CMC, like I just feel like running backs are so like even like the Vikings.
Mike Davis 3.9 yards a carry last year.
I think it's hard
which was
to
the
answer your
lowest total of Ray
question,
Rice's
I
career.
think it's hard to find a running back because we haven't done it yet. If it's so damn easy,
we've been
why
trying.
haven't we
You
done
think
it?
we've been trying?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
I do think we've been trying.
People try to
We've been
sit there and
swinging and
say
missing.
they don't value it. It's not. I've already talked about this. It's not about that. They're arrogant. They think they can get a running back when they want them. Example, what Wade talked about earlier. J.K. Dobbins, I don't know why when you had Jonathan Taylor on the board, was their highest ranked guy in that draft. And they thought they could sit there and they could get them at the pick they wanted them. The same thing with this year. They really value Javonte Williams. Listen, I'm friends with Benjamin Albright. Benjamin Albright is not only an NFL insider, he's a big-time Denver Broncos guy. He was in the Denver Broncos headquarters when that draft was happening. It was Javonte Williams at 36. He was 1A and 1B with Javon Holland. And
they traded up.
Dude, they traded up. Not only that, but everyone knew we were going to take Javonte Williams in the league so badly that an AFC East rival text messaged the Denver Broncos GM and congratulated him for stifling us. It was going to be Javonte Williams.
I want to hop on reasons there, but as you guys ain't watching at home, everyone's going to talk about DeAndre Swift 2 years ago, and a lot of teams did have DeAndre Swift as the number one guy. I had Jonathan Taylor as the number one guy, and look how that worked out, right? And I got to spend some time in Wisconsin and all. But when it comes to Javonte Williams, I woke up on day 2 shaking, going, Javonte's still there. As long as the Falcons and Jets don't take him, we're good. And I live in Denver, and even when the Broncos traded up, I was like, well, they spent the second-round pick on Melvin Gordon last year. You know, Phillip Lindsay had a down year, but he's been solid. They're not going to pick. There's no way. When Javonte Williams, my boy I'm on the phone with every year for the draft, I was like, you know, it's recorded. It was recorded when I was on with Goodell last year. He's on the phone with me every year for the draft. I was speechless. No one thought Denver's going to trade up ahead of us to get Javonte Williams. Everybody knew the second Miami's on the board, Javonte Williams. We're celebrating. People in North Carolina are celebrating. It was stunning what happened. Stunning.
Dude, the guy, you know what? He is the closest thing I've seen to Ricky since Ricky.
100%.
Wow, that's a big
He runs high,
reason.
balls up here. You can't knock him over. You hit him sideways. He has the best balance I've ever
He's
seen.
mean. He's very mean running the rock.
100%. And he's big. For a guy that fast, he's
Same exact 40
Right,
time
so
as Ricky,
I-
too.
I-
Same exact 40 time.
Let's get back to the Dolphins. Why has the Dolphins not making a serious? Why have they? Why half-assed it? I guess is a good way to put it.
Well, they put in a waiver claim for Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but to me, that's still half-assing it. You're not. You have a chance to really go out and address it. You're not
There's
doing
too many holes, bro. We still got to fix center. We still got to fix Eric Rowe. Like, it's not like we're a complete team that just sucks at running back. Like, they think of the turnaround they had to have. We had guys like Nick Needham, who was undrafted, starting as our number one corner when Flores first took over during that season. Like, we've had tons of injuries, tons of holes. Look at everybody we had to bring in, and I credit Greer for this, that didn't work out, and they cut it right away. Like, this has been damn near a complete turnaround in the roster. Like, with the exception of X and Devontae, who was here 4 years ago?
Would you trade X to Carolina for Christian McCaffrey in a second-round pick? Christian McCaffrey is never in a million years getting traded from Carolina.
But yes.
Yeah, I think we all.
And that's the one thing. That's the one I agree to. That's the one I
Here's the
agree
problem.
to.
We wouldn't use him right.
I don't know how you can use them wrong.
He'd be wide open, and we'd be throwing a Gazicki.
All right, let's go on to the next topic, man. We kind of already discussed this a little bit, but you know, one of the things that has plagued this team for years is playing the Baltimore Ravens, right? Is playing on national
prime
time. Yep, It's playing on prime time. There's a few games this year that stick out. Obviously, we're playing on prime time at home against Baltimore. That's one. We're playing in prime time against the New Orleans Saints. Although they're minus Drew Brees, I think they're still a damn good team. What are some games this year that you look at and you're like, you know what, we got to win. Like there's like in order for us to be really what we think we are, which I think we win a playoff game. I think we're exactly where we're supposed to be. But I think there's little things throughout the season that lead up to that. And show me and make me have more confidence that we can do that. And I think winning against Baltimore, winning against New Orleans, winning in London, all these things, like I need to see all of these things happen in order for me to feel more confident that my team is ready to take that next step. Reason, your thoughts on that?
That stretch from the Jags to the second game against the Jets, you've got to. I mean, what? That's 4-7. That's a 9-game stretch. Man, you got to come out of that 7-2. I think. I think the power run teams are going to be what we're going to see. What this team's really made of. You know, Bernardrick McKinney. I said it today on Twitter. He's like one of the biggest chess pieces that not enough people are talking about because this team needs to prove for them to take the next step defensively. They need to prove that they can stop the run. If they can't stop the run, you know, the Patriots week 1 are going to be an issue. You know, the Raiders, it took a miracle pass and they're going to have a healthy Josh Jacobs. We talked about Jonathan Taylor. You know, I'm a believer of Leonard Fournette and what they do in Tampa Bay. So they're going to be an issue in terms of running the football. the Ravens are going to be an issue because if you can't stop the run, you got a quarterback and you got a running back committee back there that can run the football. I think, and shout out to Nick Hicks of Perform. He's been working hard with Devin Singletary this offseason, getting him in shape. But him and Zach Moss down at Perform, the same place.
Great interview on your channel, by the way.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Nick Hicks is the homie. So, I think you're going to see a better Devin Singletary and Zach. People forget what Zach Moss was coming out of Utah. I mean, that guy woke up, got out of bed, and broke a tackle. You know what I mean? That's just what Zach Moss was. So if he can find any semblance of that form, that running back committee could be better this year. Now, it's just like our run defense. Until you show me, I'm not going to believe it's going to be better, but there is the possibility it's going to be better. But the Ravens game, it's all about, again, it comes down to, can we stop the run? If you can't stop the run, then that's going to be a serious issue. Just like, I think people are really underestimating that Patriots game. I mean, you go look at, what are they, the fourth in the NFL last year in terms of running? They average like over 140 yards per game. And then go look at their defense right now. Are we going to be able to run the ball against the New England Patriots? So, I really think that stretch from the Jaguars to the second game of the Jets, you got to at max lose 2 games in that stretch, because those first 5 games you could realistically come out of that 2-3, 1-4. So that stretch is where you can make it back up.
Cam?
So, first of all, shout out to Nick Hicks, because if you guys don't know, he also owns the Batch Cookie Company, and you got to try those cookies because they are fire. But going back to your question is, what would awaken us to believe, what would this team need to do to make us believers that they're contenders, right? And I think that was your original question. And for me, it's coming out of the gate 3-1, and then going into Tampa Bay and beating the defending champions soundly. That's when I would start believing.
Fair. Wade?
Me and Reason must be like long lost cousins or something. Like, I feel like he said everything I've been saying this whole show. For me, man, like Saints Titans, less than a week apart. I think those are going to be huge games. And obviously, right, because of where they're at in the season, right? But the second thing is because we're facing teams that, like, when it comes to the Saints, I'm nervous about their offense. Again, I've said this time and time again because of Sean Payton, right? Taysom Hill's a baller. Winston, we know, can sling it. They still have Michael Thomas. They still have Alvin Kamara, all that. But their defense was really good. Like, there's a reason under Sean Payton, historically, they've been a 9-game minimum winning team every year. Like, on the bad years, they're 9 wins. On the good years, it's 12-14. And when it comes to the Titans, look, it's late in the year. It's a game that's going to matter, especially in the AFC. And it's a game where they have potentially 2 rookie corners starting that are going to make or break their season. Like, Tannehill can run. We know that. He was our guy. Running quarterbacks hurt us. They have 2 really good receivers, which we have 2 really good corners. But that means the rest of the team has to deal with Derrick Henry and whoever else is on the offense, which could be tough, right? If we have 2 receivers that can really, give our corners a tough time. And their defense could be really good or it couldn't. But we won't know that until at least halfway through the season. So those 2 games are really going to be important because, A, they're road games late in the year. B, they're against teams that most people think are going to be playoff contenders and people are going to have deep seasons in the playoffs. And C, like, who's healthy on their teams versus who is healthy on our teams at that point in the year is going to be a major difference.
Chochos?
I think for me, two games that stand out are the Baltimore game and the Tennessee game, as you guys were saying. Stopping the run is going to be a major factor in both those games. I think the Tennessee game, really the key is going to be against their defense, because I don't think their defense is going to be good this year. I don't think so. We're going to have a tough time against the offense because of wide receivers, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. It's going to be tough, but I think
Julio Jones makes that team a little bit different now too, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
He's the second best receiver on that team.
I know, that's crazy to me.
You have a Hall of Famer wide receiver, and it's the second best there. It's
They're
going to be a
really,
tough
really
game.
good. Really good. I think. Super.
And the reality is, in Kflexin, I'll segue into you. The reality is, especially with that Tennessee game, and that could end up being for like a big playoff spot. That's going to be a very important game when it's all
How
said
do you
and
stop
done.
that play action? You got arguably the hardest running back in football to tackle. You got a quarterback that played wide receiver in college that not only has a super strong arm but could run. Oh, and by the way, you have one of the best receivers over the last decade, and the kid that looked up to him that was a first round.
I really want reason to answer this, and Flex, I'll come back to you real quick, but I think it is a good segue question. Do you stack the box against Derrick Henry, but then you still have to worry about the wide receivers?
If you trade X.
Yeah, if you trade X, that's the problem. You're not going
to.
So
let's say X is here. Let's say X is here. Answer Wade's question. How do you beat the Tennessee Titans?
Well, you're going to have to respect and stick honest to the run. So you're probably going to see 7-8 man boxes against them for sure. I mean, basically what you're going to have to do is Tannehill's going to have to beat you. And I don't think Tannehill could beat our secondary if X is there. And the reason why I say that if X isn't there, then I think it's a different story because I'm not on the hype train that everyone's on with Noah Benogany. I'm just sorry I'm not there yet. And go look at what Van Jefferson did to him. Everyone wants to talk about, how he played against LSU and Alabama. Go look at what the Gators game when Van Jefferson gave him the absolute work. And everyone wants to talk about Diggs, but everyone forgets what Lockett did to him too. So I'm not totally there yet with Noah Benogany. I think you need X to beat a team like the Tennessee Titans. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to basically say Tannehill has to beat me. And I think our secondary with X is a better matchup than what people are giving them credit for. Like, basically what I would do is I'd have X man up on AJ. I would shade coverage over to Byron's side to help him because of the size of Julio. And I'm not really worried because their tight end room is a mess. So I'm not, after they lost Jonnu, so I'm not really worried about getting beaten in the seams or anything like that. So, I just shade coverage to Byron's side, help him with Julio. And, X, I know he doesn't probably want to do it, but that's a game where I'd be saying, guess what, brother? You're traveling with A.J. Brown.
You don't like Fursker reason?
No, not really.
So I'll tell you this. I agree with 90% of what he said. I think the difference in that game, and you heard it here first, and hopefully this is what it is from that day. The difference in that game is Javon Holland.
It's not. I don't think you're wrong with that. Flex, what are your thoughts on the original question, the primetime games, Baltimore and stuff like that, and then if you have any thoughts on the Tennessee game?
I thought that's what the question was. The Tennessee.
Well, you answer whatever you want to answer.
All right, yeah. So I agree with Reason when he said, I think he said make Tannehill beat you, stack the box. Y'all would just stack the box. If you pay the cornerbacks, contrary to what Xavier Howard act like he's not getting paid a lot, but our cornerbacks are getting paid a lot, both of them. So it's like if you put all that money in your secondary, you should be able to leave them. You should be able to stack the box and leave them out, and they're gonna have to carry they're gonna have to
earn that money.
Earn the money. Thank you. Just make them earn their money, and I trust them against anybody, to be honest. And then also, at the end of the day, it's no worse feeling, I think, than losing and just getting ran on the whole game. Like I'd rather Tannehill just absolutely destroy us, and then I'll sleep better at night if that happens.
Let me tell you, if that were to happen, I would cry because all you would hear is every freaking Dolphin fan come out the woodwork.
Shouldn't have
traded Tannehill.
Hey, somewhere ahead is Jay Villa is still screaming about Tannehill.
That's true.
That's gonna be a funny week for sure, though. I can't wait to that. That's gonna be funny regardless. I'm just gonna laugh at everything.
It's gonna be and I think it'll be a game that we're like, okay, is this team legit? And I think that's what we want to see, right? Like I want to know, to the original question, as a regular fan, as a casual fan, which I'm not, I am a diehard, but for casual Dolphins fans, what do they need to see to be like, our team is Super Bowl contenders now? Like what is the equation?
a really long one, like pie. You need to get the same play we got last year from the secondary. You need the pass rush to. It doesn't need to overly improve, but it needs to improve to the point where we don't need to rely on zero blitzing whatsoever. And I'm high on Jalen Phillips, so I think that'll be fine.
Phillips is going to be
I
fire
think Ogba is going to take another step forward. I think I comped Raekwon Davis to Chris Jones before we drafted him, and I think you're going to see another leap forward for that guy. I think you're going to need to, obviously, like we talked about earlier, you're going to be able to show teams you can stop the run. They got to be able to respect your run defense. And I think the biggest question mark, and I've talked about this over and over again, is everyone wants to say, it's on Tua. It's on Tua, the way this offense goes. No, it's on this offensive line. Tua's development and growth, and that running back room only go as far as this offensive line go. And we are in such a rare form where you got Jackson, you got Kinley, and you got Hunt. Now, I think Hunt, when we drafted him, I said, this guy's a guard. When they put him at tackle, I'm like, what are you doing? This guy can be an all-pro guard. He is a guard. Took him 370 days to realize it, but they realized it, so kudos to them. So you're looking for all three of those guys to take significant, equal jumps, okay, in a second year. You're hoping Liam Eichenberg limits all the rookie mistakes and the rookie learning curve out there, and you're hoping Skura can find some semblance of his 2018 form. That is a lot to ask for from an offensive line. Like, I can't remember the last team that was hindering on that many hypotheticals, that many what ifs, that many question marks. And what's crazy is we can add all the weapons in the world, but if the offensive line don't hold up, I mean, their pass block win rate last year was 51%. That means only 51% of the time we had more than 2.5 seconds in the pocket to throw the ball. Josh Allen had over 3 seconds to throw the ball on average last year. Like, the offensive line is the key to this offense. If this offensive line is anything like it was last year, it's going to be a somewhat stagnant offense all over again. And what's crazy is all the resources they pumped into this. You know, when we drafted Jackson, I had Jackson as my OT10 on my big board. Okay, Eichenberg was like my OT8 or OT9, and they traded up for him when they had Tevin Jenkins sitting there at 36. Like, unbelievable stuff. And, you know, I mean, Hunt, he's a guard. I love Solomon Kinley.
Eichenberg starts week one. Eichenberg starts week one.
Yeah, well, have you seen Fluker? Have you seen Fluker right now?
I mean, by the way, that's what that
Steven to block like Fluker.
Oh,
Bro,
I don't know, man.
It's not your
He's lost 40 pounds. He's down from 394 to 354 right now. So I'm just saying.
Don't know what Reason's saying right now. Like, here's a simple explanation.
Your eyes were lit up so much, and you were.
I was so angry because I agree, bro. Everything like is so frustrating. Like, I always try to break it down to simplicity for those people that don't really follow X's and O's. But like, I was a big Deshaun Jackson, or I keep saying Deshaun Jackson. I don't know why. Austin Jackson fan last year, right? Coming into the draft. I wanted Cesar Ruiz at 18, who's a center, who the Saints picked. Their second center in, I think, 2 years in a row. They picked a first-round center.
Eric
Remember,
McCoy
right?
the year before.
Yes, thank you. God, I love having Reason here. Right? I wanted Cesar at 18 and Austin at 26. We still haven't upgraded our center position, in my opinion. Like, Ted Harris was a stopgap. Segura is going to be a stopgap, right? But, like, our highest graded, if you go by PFF, our highest graded offensive lineman last year, Robert Hunt, who was playing out of position. He's a guard. He played guard in college. He's played guard in the NFL. For those of you who don't get it, like, playing tackle at the college level, pretty good, means you're probably going to be an NFL guard. Like, we went the opposite. We took a pretty good college guard, and don't get me wrong, he was a really good college guard, right? But the thing about college, and again, I'm not here to educate people, but like when you play in a smaller school, you sometimes get this knock, whatever. We took this guy who, like, everyone was like, who? When we took him in the second round, and we put him out of position, and he was still our highest graded offensive lineman, despite the fact that you could clearly tell if you had the eye for it by watching, he wasn't fit for this position. Yeah. And immediately after we drafted Liam Eichenberg, we announced, oh, by the way, we're going to move this guy to his right position. Shouldn't that tell you something about Eichenberg? So we think the right side of our line is going to be fine. And again, on a typical offense, the right side of your line is there to run protect. The fact that we have a left-handed quarterback who is presumably our quarterback of the future means that it's kind of the opposite, right? Because when you're left-handed, it means you throw like this, right? So your back's to the right. So you want the right side of your offensive line to be the stronger, bigger, pass protecting line.
Wade and Reason over here dropping knowledge on these people, boy. Dropping knowledge on them.
But here's the thing. Austin Jackson is still a really good left tackle, even if it's going to be run pass, whatever. We talked about this earlier. A rookie with no training camp, blah, blah, blah. Austin Jackson, there may have been some guys over him, right? But he was still considered a higher pick. Now we're asking him to do the opposite, right? We're asking him to go from a pass blocking left tackle in college to a run blocking, quote unquote, right tackle, right? Because that's what they usually do. There's going to be a left side of the line. Like, we're throwing a lot of nuances in there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your receivers are, your quarterbacks are, you have a pass catching running back, you have any of these guys. If no one's scared that you're going to run the ball, or throw the ball, I should say, they're going to load the box on you to kill you. And that's what happened to Tua last year. And despite the fact that he had one of the best third down passer ratings in the league, despite the fact that he had one of the best when blitzed passer ratings in the league, everyone's writing the kid off, despite the fact that the offensive line was mostly new. They had to work when they spent most of their career playing for a left-hand or right-handed quarterback to a left-handed quarterback. They had no training camp, no offseason. Oh, and by the way, you were throwing to 6- and 7-string running backs, and you're talking about Tua, and this is where this Deshaun Watson stuff comes from. I don't get it out of here, bro. We got bigger problems. We got to fix center. We got to fix strong safety. We got to fix running back. Like, we have other issues. Quarterback's fine.
Cam, your thoughts on this, Cam? Anything you want to add to this?
No, I mean, these guys have said it all, and I'm totally agree with it. Like, we should have picked a center. I wanted the left-handed center from Oklahoma last year. Yeah, man. I mean, he would have fit perfectly right with Tua, but
and he went late too, Creed Humphreys.
Yeah, I mean, we could have had him. We passed by him a couple times, but yeah, I agree with exactly what you know. Super Bowls are won in the trenches, right? You build the team from the inside out, and I couldn't agree with more about. That's my biggest worry going into training camp, to see what this coaching staff does to put a superior offensive line together, because right now you don't see it.
Chochos.
I basically agree everything you said. I was surprised on April when we didn't address the center position at the draft. I thought that was going to be obviously not in the first round, but at some point,
I wanted Landon Dickerson so bad.
It went in the second round.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna. Actually, the two positions that I thought that were gonna be addressed, no matter what, was inside linebacker and center, and we didn't do anything at the draft with any of those positions. So, I think I agree. I totally agree that our offensive line is really the key of the offense this year, and I'm hopeful that everybody of these guys, I think Hunt and Kinley already are really good, and I love that Hunt is moved to guard. But they are the key, and for me, Skura, it's a big question mark because he's
the X factor on that line.
Yeah,
if Skura shows up the way he did before the yips, we're good. If Skura shows up the way he did after the yips, we're screwed.
If it's raining, Michael Dieter's starting, guys, just so you know.
Huh?
If it's raining, Michael Dieter is going to be our starting center.
Oh, please don't say that. No,
that's an interesting take. Like, somebody write that down. Like, it makes a difference, man.
Yeah.
All right, Flex. Your thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, I'm over the offensive line. I've been hearing that since I was in 6th grade, and I'm 24. we blame our offensive line every single year.
You're here for a couple more years, bro.
Oh man, that shit is annoying. But that's what I thought. I thought we was gonna get Sewell in the draft. I don't even want to open this can of worms, but I thought we was going to. I thought that was like kind of a no-brainer. But then we got a receiver, which I'm cool with. But then again, if we going to sit up here and we're gonna make excuses about our offensive line for the whole year, I'm gonna be mad because we could have just got Sewell, and I'm gonna bring it up every video. But I'm hoping we don't complain about our offensive line all year. I hope we just I hope they're good, because
Kflex is going to start off every video. All right, welcome to another Kflex video, just so everybody knows. Could have got Sewell at number.
That's how it's gonna be. But it's like, yo, we've been having this excuse for so long. It's crazy. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I'm just saying this has been a reason we've been losing. Even when we had Tannehill back when I was in high school, it's the offensive line and ain't the quarterback. It's like, yeah, Lee, are we just gonna ever get the offensive line? But let me ask y'all something. Where do y'all like? Who's our worst? Like, what are we set? Are we good? Anyone on the offensive line to y'all?
I think we're good on the
right tackle.
Yeah, I think right guard, left guard, we're gonna be good. I think Eichenberg, I talked to an evaluator I trust a ton who's also a Notre Dame fan, and he basically, I asked him, I said, in your opinion, what's the ceiling for Eichenberg? He said Riley Reif, a solid guy where you don't talk about him because he just goes out. And if you watch his film, he's a very sound technician. Now he gets caught, especially at the second level, like lunging and missing a lot. He's got like 32.28-inch arms. He's got short arms. He's got problem with guys that are a little bit more athletic and have that bend around the arc when they're coming around the edge. But I think he'll be solid. Like when we drafted him, that's the word I kept using: solid, solid, solid. My issue is if you go to Twitter, if you go to YouTube, that Penei Sewell train, the station it left was Phinside the NFL. EM used to push back on me about him, and now EM's saying to me, maybe I shouldn't have pushed back on you because we should have taken Penei at 6. And Waddle was my wide receiver 1 from the get-go. That's the guy who I said, if we're going to draft a wide receiver, we're drafting Jalen Waddle. And the issue that I have here is, again, the arrogance. It's like, dude, we all crap on Tannenbaum and Gase. I get that. But you know what?
Tannenbaum.
Well, they had Brandon Albert, who I know he had injury issues, but the guy was a perennial Pro Bowler. And Laramie Tunsil fell in their lap. And what did they say? Whatever, we'll slide him into guard. I don't understand. If you were going to draft Liam Eichenberg all the way at 42 and trade up for him, in such a deeper wide receiver class than last year, why would you have not just taken Penei Sewell? When does the number 1 guard, and remember, I was also the guy in October 2019 on TDPhinsTalk. I was telling everyone, October 2019, Tristan Wirfs is the best tackle in this draft. It's not even close. And we also
I wanted him so bad.
And I have a higher grade on Penei than I did on Tristan Wirfs. And then to rub salt in the wound, what is Detroit announce? Oh, we got Taylor Decker at left guard, a left tackle, so we're going to move Penei Sewell to right tackle.
So why explain this to me. Kflex, right? We've been talking about this shit for 15 years. Why?
Dude, if you want my honest opinion, 2 things. A, I think that the rumors and rumblings we heard about them not wanting to use high picks on guys that opted out, in terms of the first round picks on guys that opted out, might have been possibly true. Number 2, and it's still got to play out, I've already got questions about our scouting room's ability to evaluate the offensive line. Because coming out of USC, I could have told you...
Real quick,
coming out of USC, I could have told you Austin Jackson cannot handle guys coming across his face. That was one of my biggest knocks on him. We go to Denver. What does Bradley Chubb do? Oh, it's like literally
all
Bradley
game,
Chubb
the entire game.
And he's like, I'm just going to go. Dude, we couldn't pick up. You know what's crazy?
We couldn't pick it up at all. We didn't know what they were doing. We looked at like a linebacker. What's that?
You know what's crazy? When Kinley was in at right guard and Jesse Davis was at right tackle, we actually did a better job. When Hunt came in at right tackle and guard was switched to Jesse Davis, who doesn't even have the functional strength to be inside anyways. I don't know why he's there. All of a sudden, the communication dropped off the center of the earth, and then Solomon Kinley goes to left guard, plays next to Austin Jackson, and Austin Jackson's ability in the run game is the best I've seen since, better than what I saw at USC. So is it like, was Solomon Kinley the key to that interior being better at communication?
Jesse Davis is on the team because he could play any position on the scout team. That's it. And the fact of the matter is, like, once we stopped trusting him to block the strongest guy, because when they did those stunts, that's what happens, right? The linebackers come inside, and you got a guy coming at you with momentum, and he's top heavy, strong, right? And Jesse Davis couldn't do it the same way he couldn't turn, right, when he had those very fast guys on the outside. But the problem, and you talk about Penei Sewell, I agree with you. I think maybe that thing that happened with the guys opting out scared him. Penei Sewell is arguably the best prospect in a generation on a team that has continually struggled in the offensive line, to Steven's point, and we pass on him. Go back and watch my videos. I've been screaming this for
That wasn't my points. That was Flex.
Months.
But I agree
But
with
no, you asked about the offensive line over years. Here's what happened a couple of years ago. We were well on our way to building an offensive line, and we took a PR hit because we had everybody earmuffs turn the kids away. We had a punk mother blank named Jonathan Martin, who cost us Richie Incognito, who, by the way, to this day is still playing at a very high level at the inside guard position. And we had a good left tackle in Jake Long. We had a very good, if not elite, left guard. And the only reason Jake Long isn't elite, by the way, for us at home is because he missed games. There was a 3-ish year period where Jake Long was hands down the best left tackle in football. And the only argument is maybe Joe Thomas, right? And then we got a really good center, right, in Pouncey, and we were building our way to a very, very good line. Jonathan Martin was a waste of a second-round pick. He wasn't very good. He got a shot. He was failed and benched. He got a shot at a different position, was failed and benched, and then he cried like a punk, as evidenced by
tell me how you really feel.
Text messages.
Wait, tell me how you
I'm
really feel,
trying to
bro.
answer your question. We were well on our way to a very good line.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is the thing that, is football's a team sport. Everybody accentuates everybody else. When you're running 6th and 7th string running backs, and you're also running 4th and 5th and 6th string receivers, it's very hard for your rookie offensive lineman to step up. We haven't had legitimately a healthy year in terms of the same 5 guys starting on offensive line, the same 2 or 3 guys starting at receiver, the same guy starting at running back, and the same guy starting at tight end in how many years?
Yeah.
How many?
It's been a long time.
Maybe the healthiest we've been was when we had the unicorn line in 2016, when we had those guys, because Pouncey held up for most of the season, right?
What was the guy's name? Isaacs? The guy that could only run block for Matt Isaacs? It was like a 3rd-round pick the one year he started.
Asiata?
No.
Asiata.
Matt Asiata. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Matt Asiata finally stepped up and oh, he's going to be our run guy, and then anybody tried to pass rush him, and he looked like a confused child.
Big John says, hey, listen, this is just my opinion. Reasons should apply for the Miami Dolphins scouting position for offensive linemen, because these other guys are jabronis, just based on everything you have said.
Dude, he was the best tackle I think that's come out since Orlando Pace. And the problem with Sewell, and the problem with this is, dude, if you think about it, you technically spent a 1st-round pick to move back up to 6, and then you spent the 1st-round pick on him. Essentially, you spent 2 1st-round picks on Jalen Waddle, and the problem is now he's going to be compared to Penei Sewell, especially if our O-line struggles. And if this guy comes out and has Tristan Wirfs year,
who has the
Tristan Wirfs year? Oh my God!
Do you think I'm not going to be watching Detroit to see what their offensive line does?
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you this: they can say what they want about Taylor Decker. They play one serious pass rusher on the left side of the line, and I assume is going to have a job. Yeah. And I like Taylor Decker. Taylor Decker's a good player.
Cam, I know you're fixing to get out of here in a little bit. Do you want to ask any questions to the group before you get out of here, or any final thoughts?
Just to expound upon what we're talking about, the offensive line, even this regarding Skura in his 2018 season, which was pretty good, top 5 center in the league. What was the attraction to bring him on to the Dolphins? I just don't get it. The center's supposed to, we haven't had it. Yeah, I get it. I get that, Wade, but man, come on. If we're building a championship team, hypothetically, we build from the inside out, like I said earlier, and it starts at the center position. In Tua's case, because of left-handed quarterback, to your point, it starts at the right tackle in the center. And man, we got 2 question marks there, and that worries the shit out of me.
Dude, I would have backed the Brinks truck right up to Corey Lindsley's driveway, and I said, what do you want?
100%.
And we got it, by the way. That wouldn't have broke the team. We have the money.
Yeah. If you're going to be
so
running.
The question is, why didn't we do it?
Because I think they undervalue it.
How do you undervalue that, though?
You tell me. You tell me.
They thought they were going to land Creed Humphreys in the 3rd round, just like they thought last year they were going to get J.K. Dobbins late in the 2nd.
Let me ask you.
Want me to go even better? Instead of Hunter Long, I would have taken Quinn Miners. What are you
dude,
doing?
that was my guy out of Colorado State, right?
Out of Whitewater, Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin, something like that. I knew it was something.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I knew it was something.
I knew it was
one
something.
Of the states, one of the big 50.
One of those 50 states. Look, here's a reality. I know this is a stupid statement, or this sound maybe not a stupid statement, but I feel like if you're in the game of football, you have to have some common sense about certain things. And for some reason, the last 20 years, the Dolphins have not seen.
Not if you are aqua and orange.
And it bothers the hell out of me. Flex hit it right on the money. We've been having this same damn conversation for 20 years. There is no reason for it. None.
Because even
if
before
you
we
run
drafted,
an NFL team, you should know defense wins championships and you protect your quarterback with a solid offensive line.
see, it goes back to the arrogance.
Why is this so
though.
hard?
Listen to what Wade said. What Wade said earlier. Okay, I would have taken Cesar Ruiz at 18. From what I understand, the reason we traded back from 26 to 30 is because we thought Cesar Ruiz was going to fall to us at 26.
But he didn't.
That was the
So why
pick
make
at 26.
So why make the same mistake again?
Because these guys, the thing is, not only, first of all, how do we have all this capital in the world? Do you guys know we're the reason why the Bucks traded up for Tristan Wirfs, right? We just wouldn't meet the asking price of what San Francisco.
Yes.
So then you got all this capital in 2 years, and you don't go out there. This is what I said. This draft, especially, be aggressive. You've got the capital. Go get blue chip guys. I don't care about moves you're making in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. Make them within the 3rd, 2nd, 1st round. You've got the capital. We could have done it 2 years in a row. Listen, if we would have given up a little bit more than what people would have liked, but we would have came out of that draft with Tristan Wirfs, Tua Tagovailoa, and at 26, I don't know, my safety one, so we don't have to take a safety this year.
Well,
Antoine
remember, it
Winfield.
was it 22 originally before we traded back?
What the
Noah pick?
It was 26, I think.
Reason, here's the question, Reason. What would it have cost us to leave this draft with Micah Parsons instead of Jalen Phillips? Dallas moved back once already.
Yeah, I was shocked.
If you're talking about giving stuff up, you're talking about arguably the best defensive player in the draft.
I think
by the way,
Phillips was good. I love
if he didn't have character concerns, he would have been easily a top 10
But what are
pick.
his character concerns? Again, I know people from
The hazing.
From Philly.
The hazing.
I know people from the area of Harrisburg where Micah Parsons is from. And what is his character? It's like, oh, you picked on other high school kids when you
We don't
want
wanna
to
get into the
jock
details.
in the middle of nowhere town in high school.
Well,
I
apparently,
would say probably everybody did that.
Well, no, apparently he was the ringleader, and I know one of the claims was they simulated.
Now we gotta get into details.
Right,
you know,
17-year-old kid trapped in a pool in a small Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is the size of this chat room.
Yeah,
right. Like, I want to be very clear about that. He's a punk ass kid who was in all rights a celebrity.
You know what? Hey,
in
Watson,
his town
wait,
who happened to be the best defensive player in the draft.
Wait, I'll give you 60 seconds. Everybody mute if you don't want to hear bad language. Go. Tell us how you really feel. Use all the language you want.
Sam Darnold, Rex Ryan, I can get Michael Thomas, Adam Gase, Joe Philbin. I could say a bunch of horrible things right now. Like pretty much every draft pick made under Cam Cameron. I can talk about how Nick Saban is still complaining that the Dolphins doctors are the reason we didn't get Drew Brees, despite the fact that he had override power.
That's such a stupid article that just came out the other day.
Oh my God, it's so dumb. And I'm going to say, just because I get one when no one's listening, I'm going to say retard. All right, that's it.
Dude, he could have brought in Dr. Andrews, sat him down with Wayne Huizenga, said, "Listen, this is the guy I want. I think I can win with him. If I don't get him, I'm leaving."
By the
And
way,
Dr.
he didn't bring in
Andrews
Dr. Andrews. He said it to the team doctors. Andrews said he's
Andrews
good.
could have cleared him.
He goes to the team doctors. Oh, and by the way, who's he work with now? Andrews.
Alabama. Yeah.
That's such a lie, bro. It's such a stupid ass lie. All right, I get one more curse. Who was the kid from Missouri? Charles Harris. All right, we're back.
I love you, Wade, so freaking much.
All right, I gotta go in a second, but actually, I want to say one more thing because y'all really had just opened up my mind.
Oh, did we just open up?
Yeah. Because I got
your third eye?
I got something to say real quick. If this year, if Penei Sewell's good and our line sucks, this is like franchise This is some stuff that's going to just ruin like every like it's I don't want to say the word like I want to say it's also no I'm not gonna say it. But
no, we know what you're thinking.
The franchise
just say
is
it,
killed.
Flex.
The franchise is now. I was gonna say like this is like this regime like suicide. Like they just like it's over. Like if Penei Sewell was good and Jalen Waddle, I think he's gonna be good regardless.
Flex, that's not the question. The question is we know Sewell's gonna be good. The question is the gamble. Yes. I believe he is. Yes. The gamble here is that if Sewell's great and we didn't win in our hits,
it's over.
Then we're screwed.
So does that mean everybody just gets fired?
Yes.
Yeah. But we've been over this a million times. I don't want to start over again. I don't. And
when
I'm
you
okay.
mess up that bad, I want to be very clear. Everybody not working for the Jacksonville Jaguars that didn't draft Penei Sewell when he was on the board blanked up.
You wouldn't have gone with Trevor Lawrence?
I said everybody not working for the Jaguars. The Jaguars had a massive hole at quarterback. They needed to sell tickets. They haven't had a respectable quarterback.
They do.
Really,
he plays tight end for them.
Like I said, they haven't had a respectable quarterback. So everybody not working for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that includes the Jets, the Falcons, that includes for some ridiculous reason, the Cincinnati Bengals. I have no idea what they were thinking of. But yes, all those teams, if you don't work for the Jaguars and Penei Sewell's on the board and you don't draft Penei Sewell,
let me ask you and reason this both. If Penei Sewell gets drafted by Cincinnati, who do the Dolphins draft in that next pick? Is it still Waddle, or do they go after?
I think so.
Well, you saw what was either Schefter or Ian Rappaport reported that Waddle was our second highest graded player on our board, only behind Trevor Lawrence. And then you saw the Jaguars documentary about the draft come out, and they gave Trevor Lawrence the same grade as Jalen Waddle. They had Jalen Waddle as their number 2 guy.
So do you
He's
guys
what we needed.
Do you not like the Waddle pick?
No, I did.
Oh, I love it. It was what we needed, but not with. But Penei Sewell is the smart, logical pick.
If Sewell's not on the board, I love the Waddle pick. The only hesitation about the Waddle pick is that Sewell was still there, and I've said this on this on episodes on MSN. I've said this all kinds of. After the last game of the season, I was adamant. You can go back and check any of my stuff about anybody basically but Devontae Smith, right? And the day after the last game of the season, when we still thought we were picking 3, and everyone was flowing these rumors around about Devontae Smith, me and my boy Adam, who lives out here in Denver with me, not the Dolphin. We sat on and we watched highlights for hours of the big 3 receivers, and we both walked away from that going, Jalen Waddle's tape looked way better than everybody else's. Yeah. It was Waddle up here, Chase not super far behind him, and Devontae Smith all the way down here. We all said Waddle from the gate. And when you hear about like what he did after he got the injury, and he could have sat out like every other player and still been a first-round pick and busted his ass to get back. And then you hear stats like I dropped at the very beginning of this where there's only one receiver who had at least 25 targets, whose quarterback had a perfect QBR last year when throwing to him, and it was Jalen Waddle. I'm Waddle all day.
All right, guys, real quick. I'm going to stay on for about another 30 minutes if you guys want to. I know, Cameron, I think you got to go, right?
I gotta go.
Do you want to say anything before we let you go?
No, I just appreciate you guys having me in the room tonight, man. Good talk with y'all, and I'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning on Spread Kindness Fridays on Clock Blockers, baby. Love you, brother.
That's right, man. See you, fellas.
All right,
Peace.
appreciate it, Cam. All right. So what I want to remind everybody in the room is I want to take your questions now. All right. So if you are not in the chat box, it means you're not a member of the channel, and I want you to become a member of the channel. But if you are not a member of the channel and you want to ask a question, you can hit the super chat, which, by the way, donates to the channel. Ask any question you want to any of us. We'll answer it. And that's what I want to do for the last 30 minutes is open it up to you guys. So donate to the channel, ask your question. We'll get your question on. We'll answer whatever because I think it's too good to have Wade and Reason on along with Chochos and not have, the fans ask questions. So ask your questions, guys. I want to get them in. We're at 95 people, 68 likes. Make sure you hit that like button. While we're waiting for the questions to come in, I do want to have Reason promote his channel. Promote your channel there, Reason. Phinside
the NFL. I've been saying it for like a week or like 2 or 3 weeks, but I do have a Raekwon Davis film study coming. Then I'm going to have a film study on all of Xavier Howard's 10 interceptions, show everyone how Byron Jones impacted those interceptions with his coverage and what X was doing on each interception in terms of baiting quarterbacks with using the eyes, et cetera, et cetera. So I got those coming up. Inside the NFL. Also, you can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, every major podcast outlet. I got the Finish Line. We're about to drop the 40th episode. Me, Richmond Webb, and Mr. Ballgame.
Guys, go check Reason out. He is the man. Just the content is unreal, and it's also worth noting that. And I'm not trying to blow his head up because he's here on the show with me. I think you're one of the smartest people out there that do YouTube content for the Dolphins.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
I really mean that. You're so much better than Wade. Like, you're 10 times better than Wade.
100% agree. That ain't saying yeah, I mean, that's the smartest kid with Down syndrome. Right?
All right, guys, we want to take your questions. So go ahead and get your questions in. If you're not a member of the channel, you can pay for the super chat, donate that way, and you can get your question in that way. We definitely want to get your questions in. Make sure you guys use the hashtag Dolphin Chat. All right, so it's not a question, but I told you the other day hot seat, and you told me I was nuts. What are you talking about, Big John? I don't know what you're talking about.
Flores.
Yeah, so all right, there we go. Do you think Flores is on the hot seat?
Nope.
No, but expectations have arrived.
Even in the third year of a rebuild.
Did it? We're out of the rebuild now, brother.
I agree. I'm just.
He did it to themselves by overachieving with the rosters we've had the last 2 years.
But if you take a step
go look
back,
at Dolphins Twitter. Everyone and their mother expects playoffs. If we don't get the playoffs, that thing is gonna blow up and turn upside down. And I think Stephen Ross expects playoffs. And the guy's not getting any younger. I mean, look at what he said yesterday when they showed the media the facility, right? He said, "You want
His quote was like, I'm 90. We need to win."
Yeah, basically,
That was it,
we need Super Bowl soon. Yeah. So, I think the expectations have arrived.
Look, I want to say no, he's not on the hot seat yet. If anything, you got to remember, I believe he was Coach of the Year candidate personally. I think, even if they, God forbid, and I'm knocking on wood, God forbid they take a step back this year, depending on the reasons that they take a step back, I would be interested to see, how he fares with that. But I still think this regime is okay. They're safe. They just got to keep moving forward and progressing. And the only way I think that doesn't happen is if some injuries happen. And I think then you're kind of off the hook in a certain extent to be like, all right, they weren't healthy this year. It's not that the team was bad, but I think that's the only excuse you can really give them to be like, okay, I'll take the L this year, and we'll see where we are next year. That's just me personally on how I feel about it.
Like, you got to ask yourself, if you're Stephen Ross, you opened your pocketbook to over last year, over $240 million, already $137 million of those contracts is out the window. If you include Jim Caldwell now, everyone forgets Jim Caldwell.
Yep,
if you include Jim Caldwell, we're on our 4th and 5th together as a duo, offensive coordinators right now.
Which was
They
sad,
spent
by the way.
a ton of resources on the offensive line. If that offensive line doesn't take a step forward, causes the offense to be stagnant, and like I said, from what I've heard, the new playbook is complicated and confusing for a lot of the players on offense right now. I've heard some of the quickest to pick it up are Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa, and Albert Wilson. And if you got a problem with the playbook and that offense is stagnant, and we're sitting here next year looking for a new offensive coordinator, there's going to be serious questions.
I agree. All right, Saxmail J. Will. Why is there so much pressure on Tua to win now, but a pass given to other rookies? Wade?
Because ESPN hates the Miami Dolphins. But no, this is serious. Like, the news outlets, I remember reading Bleacher Report, right? The year after we went 10-6 and went to the playoffs and lost to Pittsburgh was 2016, I want to say. Like, Bleacher Report had us ranked coming into the next season as the dead last team. Like, for whatever reason, there's this weird stigma on Miami, and specifically because we had one of the first real star. Like, this is what you guys forget when it comes to Dan Marino, right? like not only was he, arguably the greatest of all time, right? Like, and when I say arguably, I have this weird thing about quarterbacks have to kind of be compared to their era and nothing else, whatever. But like, you gotta remember, Marino was doing stuff no one had ever done in an era where like cable TV was hitting the U.S. Right? Like in an era when, like, for the first time, the internet and all this stuff, like everyone can pay attention to football. So there's always going to be, until there's another like Hall of Fame quarterback, this weird stigma around Marino. And that's something that teams like the Vikings and the Cardinals and even the Chicago Bears, despite Sid Luckman back in World War II, never have to deal with, right? Because like they were teams that weren't.
I mean, Minnesota had Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton, by the way. If anybody in this chat without looking can tell me what number he wore, I know it, right? But most of you guys aren't old enough to know. So like, here's the thing. Until the Dolphins win a Super Bowl or render another perennial superstar quarterback, there's always going to be this weird stigma because they're only going to look at this team as the small market team that came with the superstar guy that doesn't have the superstar guy anymore. And that's a weird thing, but that's what like most of modern media is. The Dolphins get hated on more than most teams in the league. And like all you have to do is look at like what their track record is versus like what their expectations, quote unquote, are. Like there are people saying that anything less than the playoffs is going to get our coach fired, despite the fact that we haven't been to the playoffs in 6 years. Right. But there's also people that are like, oh, the Dolphins are never going to be anything and they need to get rid of Xavier Howard, despite the fact that we were quietly one of the best teams last year, despite all the injuries and a really tough schedule and those other things. So, like, Tua was a big name who had an injury, who went to a place that already has this expectation. That's why there's a bigger thing on him than, like, a Burrow or a Herbert, despite the fact that, like, no one's talking about Jordan Love, right? No one's talking about a high expectation for Zach Wilson.
Because Jordan Love's not playing.
3 spots higher.
That's why.
Well, who's talking about a high expectation for Zach Wilson? Zach Wilson was drafted number 2.
Because he plays for the crappy Jets, bro.
But that's my point, right? Tua gets these extra expectations because of everything I just said. These other quarterbacks don't.
Chochos, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, my guess is because he's from Alabama. And he has been on the focus for 3 or 4 years now. And a lot of people expect a lot from him because he was in this high-profile college, and he won a national championship. And if he doesn't get injured, didn't get injured back then, my guess he will have been the first overall pick on that draft. Is it? And that's my guess. That I'm thinking about it, and that's my only guess that people hate Alabama.
They do hate Alabama. Reason. Next question. Not sure if this is worded correctly, but with training camp opening next week, who do you feel is the number one thing we, the media fans, should be paying attention to or looking for?
If Xavier Howard shows up, and if he doesn't, what does Noah Monogany look like in training camp? The other thing, too, I would tie it with is the wide receiver room, how it's going to shake out, who's going to make it, who's going to not. Because that wide receiver room, if Jakeem Grant gets cut, it's going to go as far as impacting not only kick return and punt return, but if Hollins also gets cut, you've impacted the gunner position, too, as well.
You have, yeah. I think that's going to get overlooked on the wide receiver room, is that could affect the special teams in a big way.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're watching right now and you're not a member of the channel, number one, sign up, become a member of the channel. That's one. Number two, I also want to remind everybody as well, if you want to ask a question, donate to the channel through using the super chat, and you'll be able to ask your question. So make sure you do that, because I got a really cool crew right now. We're going to go till midnight, and then we're going to go off the air, and we're going to go to sleep. And you guys are going to wake up tomorrow morning with me again, all over on Clock Blockers. All right, I'm going to go back to you, Reason. Do we have enough O-line depth?
With Jermaine Illuminar and Fluker, who can play guard and tackle, and then you got Jesse Davis who can play tackle as well. I think we have enough depth at the guard and tackle positions. I'm not necessarily sold like on Cameron Tom. I like Michael Dieter, but my thing is he's never taken a live snap at center. He's never, pointed out the mic. He's never identified the mic. He's never pointed out disguised blitzes. He's never picked up stunts. He's never been the main communicator on the offensive line. So I worry about not only the starting position at center, I also worry about the depth at center if something were to happen.
I 100% agree. Wade, coming to you. How do you fire a coach who was considered Coach of the Year candidacy?
You don't. That's the end of the show. Good night, everybody. No, you don't. You don't fire Flores. I mean, to me, like the only way that you fire Flores is if, like, not only does he lose most games by an overwhelming majority, but like badly. Like, y'all remember his first 2 games when we lost to New England and Baltimore, respectively? Like, it needs to be 7 or 8 of those in a row for you to fire Flores. And to jump on what Reason just said, for those of you that don't like know the X's and O's like that, like what he's talking about is like the center has a job, right? Like identifying coverages, identifying where the linebackers are going to go, blitzes, all that stuff. Like I like Timon Paris. I don't think Timon Paris can do that. I like DJ Fluker. I don't think DJ Fluker can do that. I don't like Jesse Davis, but Jesse Davis can probably do that better than the other guys, but he can't block once the play actually starts. So, like, yeah, the biggest question is still at center, but you don't fire Flores because you don't have a center. It was the GM's job to build the roster. And in my opinion, as much as I like Chris Greer, the GM has failed to put a significant candidate at the center position in 3 years.
Wade, Reason, Chochos, I'll let whoever wants to take this first take it. If X is traded and Iggy's still not ready, who starts at corner?
McCourty.
Yeah.
McCourty. I think Iggy's ready, but the answer would be McCourty to that question.
I honestly think he was just brought in here for the experience with. Are you cracking open another one, Wade? Why not? Why not, Wade? Just crack it. Go ahead, my guy.
Well, this is tequila. This is
okay.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Almost 10 here.
You know what's great right now? Reason, you're in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where in Canada are you?
Just outside Toronto.
And Chochos, you're in Mexico, right?
Mexico City.
Bro, we got the North American continent up here, guys. This is wild.
Why don't you open up
why
don't you get vaccinated so you can open your land borders, though? Because I like to fly out of Buffalo.
Hang on. I think we're all in different time zones. I'm going to Mexico in a couple of days, but I think we're all in different time zones right now, too.
Yeah, I'm Eastern.
Well,
no. Reasons.
Mexico City and Toronto might be the same.
We're in Mexico.
We're Central Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so different.
And you're Mountain Time.
Mountain Time, yeah.
Mountain Man with your beard.
Hey, what are they?
Guys, bring on those questions. We're on for about another 15, 20 minutes. Come on, bring them on. I guess I'll ask the question to all three of you. Who is the Dolphins MVP of this year? Who's going to have the best year? Who's going to stand out MVP-wise? Who's going to be the most valuable Dolphin this year?
Davis.
Don't think too hard.
Raekwon Davis.
Chochos?
Jerome Baker.
I like that.
Reason?
I'm not a Baker fan, so I'm not going to say Jerome Baker. On the defensive side of the ball, if he stays healthy, Bernardic McKinney.
Okay.
If on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be Tua or Robert Hunt.
Yeah, Tua is going to be the man this year.
You heard it here first. On the offensive side of the ball, Austin Jackson.
There's no way an offensive lineman gets most valuable Dolphin of the year.
Steve, you only like quarterbacks, bro. Like you said, Aaron Donald could never be good because he plays defense.
I did not say that. That was not what I said. You know that's not what I said.
I was drinking. It was early. My point is, Austin Jackson is going to adapt to being more of a run blocker, and it's going to fit him.
Rob G asks, with the O-line, I think his name is Jones. Does he make the team?
Talking about Robert Jones?
Yeah, I guess.
The UDFA that we signed for like $130,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if Larnell Coleman makes it, and they drafted him.
I don't know. How do you say the Patriots name? Alondre? James
Jermaine Illuminor or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if he makes it, man. Like, Timon Paris may not make it. In my mind, the two guys that should make it outside of the starters are probably Fluker and Jesse Davis, and Davis only because of his versatility. He can play pretty much any position. Not very well, but he can play it.
I'm going to bring up two names for you guys. I need you guys to tell me if they make the team, if not, or if so, why. Either way. Kirk Merritt and Matt Collins.
I'm a Kirk Merritt fanboy. I don't think he makes the team, though, because of the depth in that receiver room. I think the 7th spot is going to be down to Matt Collins or Robert Foster because of the gunner role. They were using Robert Foster in minicamp as a gunner as well. So, and I don't think Jamal Perry makes the team. And last year our gunners were Matt Collins and Jamal Perry. So I think I actually had Robert Foster not making the team on my final roster prediction, and I had the gunners ending up to be Trill Williams and Matt Collins. So I think Matt Collins has a good chance because they used him as a high. If you watch closely last year, they used him as a hybrid tight end on some snaps too, because of his size, right? And he's a good blocker.
He was actually, in my opinion, I think he was more successful in the extended tight end role than he was.
I agree.
Chocho
Durham Smythe.
Hollins as a gunner, his role as a gunner is his only chance to make the team. Merritt, I think practice squad, maybe. I don't think he makes the roster.
We got about 10, 15 minutes left, guys, and then we're going to wrap up. Yvonne, Ulysses with the $20 donation. Think about it. So reason, say Igno and the D balls out. Eichenberg clears the rookie curve. Line holds strong. Gaskin balls out. Tua does 4,000. Whose house are we having the Super Bowl party at? Hashtag fins up, hashtag jabroni.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think Wade's trying to say something. He's breaking up.
Yeah, that sounds like Wade. Wade, you're breaking up. Wade, come back out and come back in. You always do better when that happens. We're going to bring Wade back in real quick. Go ahead and answer, Reason.
I think you still need a lot more to go your way to make the Super Bowl. I mean, see, here's the thing. Like, everyone always uses that. Like, I've heard, Igbo's going to ball out. What's your definition of balling out? You know what I mean? Like, you still championship teams, you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. You still got to have luck on your side here a little bit too. So I'm not going to sit here and I think it's premature. I don't think this roster is ready for a Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination.
I wish they were. Let's see here. Harris, offensive rookie of the year. Parson, defense rookie of the year. Anybody?
What's he talking about? Like overall?
I think overall NFL. That's what I think
he's saying defensive player of the year. Right?
He thinks Micah Parsons is the defensive rookie of the year, and Harris is offensive rookie of the year. Harris.
Najee
Harris. I mean, look, I want to say that Waddle will be, but here's what I truly think about Waddle. I don't think Waddle's going to put up the numbers because I think Tua is going to distribute the ball more because Waddle's going to allow other people to be open.
Well, he's got a lot of pass catchers out there, man.
Yeah,
it's be hard for one person.
But I do think if you ask me who's going to have the biggest impact rookie-wise on their team, it'll be Waddle. Waddle's going to have the biggest impact of any rookie on their team.
I don't agree.
Who's going to be better?
J.C. Horn. And here's why. The Panthers got a really young, really good defense. Like Brian Burns, first-round pick. Edor Brismato, second-round pick. Derek Brown, first-round pick. Jeremy Chin, arguably the most impactful rookie last year. Like, the Panthers got a really young defense. If J.C. Horn, and I still think Patrick Surtain should have been drafted above him, but if J.C. Horn could be the corner they think he is, which all the reports out of OTAs was that he was picking off Sam Darnold left and right. Now, I don't give anybody credit for picking off Sam Darnold. That's like picking on a kindergartner, you know what I mean? But, like, if he can really be a good corner, cool, that defense can hum, man. And with McCaffrey, with DJ Moore, with Terrace Marshall Jr., the kid at LSU, who I think was probably the most underrated receiver in this draft. Robbie Anderson stretching the field. If Sam Darnold could just not turn the ball over, it should put them in a position where their defense could win them some games. So if J.C. Horn can be as good as they thought he is when they drafted him above Patrick Surtain, he could be a baller. He could be the defensive player of the year, especially on the defensive side. I love Parsons. On the offensive side, I don't know. Najee's probably has the best shot right now statistically.
You can get 300 carries. He's going to get 300 carries. That's why.
At least. But they love to give it to a quarterback, though. Like, if Garoppolo gets hurt week 2, because that's the only way they're going to start Trey Lance right away if Garoppolo gets hurt, because Shanahan refuses to admit he screwed up. But, like, the earlier Trey Lance gets on the field, the better. But, like, if Garoppolo goes down early and Trey Lance gets on the field, he could win it. Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, is probably the favorite because they love to give these awards to quarterback. The MVP award is basically a quarterback award, even when no quarterback deserves it. So you know how they love to do the offense, but J.C. Horn could be the difference maker on defense.
What are the possibilities the Los Angeles Rams come calling back for Miami for Malcolm Brown? As we know, they just had a huge trade a huge injury this week.
Makers.
Yeah. They didn't want to keep Malcolm Brown before that. Like, it's sad what happened to Cam Akers because I really thought he was going to make the step as the next great Rams running back this year. And I know there's some FSU people watching this out there, but they don't want Brown.
FS who?
They don't want Brown, bro. I mean, dude, Le'Veon Bell's still out there. Like, they could bring Todd Gurley back before they come calling us for Brown. Like,
they still got Henderson too last year.
Adrian Peterson's out there. LaShawn McCoy's still out there. Some of these elite guys that aren't going to cost them anything.
And I got to add a name to that defensive player of the year because everyone's sleeping on him. He was one of my favorite linebackers in this draft. Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, who went to Washington. That Washington defense is disgusting, and like that guy could literally be the cherry on top of that defense too, man. So there's a lot of good candidates too. I also think. So I had Jamar Chase as my wide receiver 4, and my wide receiver 3 went to Baltimore. Rashad Bateman. I think Bateman could have a very big year too.
I think for the first time ever in Baltimore's history, they're going to hit on a wide receiver.
Oh,
but we thought that about AJ Brown. A lot of people thought that.
Bro, like, Baltimore. I live up here, bro. They do not ever hit on wide receivers, bro.
The best wide receiver in Baltimore history.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith came in for a year. I love Steve Smith. He is not a Raven, bro. Let's call
you ask him. He'll pick the Ravens over the Panthers right
now. What's his name? If Bolden is more of a Raven.
What's you call it? There's a guy by the name of Michael Jackson. True story. I still think he's the all-time leading receiver single season for them. I do.
Single season maybe, but all time it's got to be Derek Mason, right?
Derek Mason probably. TJ Hoosier Mazzilli.
Remember
TJ Hoosier Mama?
Baltimore had that year. They were the only team. They had 3 receivers.
I'm going to go TJ Hoosier Mazzilli. I love that fantasy football commercial back in the day. It is the best commercial ever.
The best commercial, speaking of Steve Smith, there was an ESPN commercial back in the day. You guys can look this up. It was one of those This Is Sports Centers. And the dude is like typing, and he leans out of his cubicle, and Steve Smith is like all the way over there somewhere. And he goes, Steve, would you describe your speed as this or this? And Steve's like, what? He's like, hold on. He comes in, takes his head, and he leans back, and Steve Smith's like right here. And he's like, oh, well, I think that answers that. So anything else? He's like, no, I'm good. He starts typing. He goes, hey, wait, how do you spell? And Steve Smith's gone again. He's all the way down. Like, it's my favorite commercial ever, bro. Steve Smith was
the Hoosier Mazzilli one was pretty. And then there was a really good one back in the day with Chris Chambers too, where the wide receivers caught balls off the machine. The one-handed catches, those were good too. Those were real good.
Chris Chambers, our last rookie receiver to have over 800 yards in a rookie season.
Oh, I miss Chris Chambers.
Hold on, didn't Juice do that?
No. He had 883 or 89 yards.
He said over 800.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jarvis didn't have over 800.
All right, guys, 3 more minutes, and then we're going to get out of here. If you guys want to ask one last question, if you donate to the channel, I will get that last question in.
Juice had 758 in his rookie year.
Oh, shit, there you go.
And 1,100 plus 2 back-to-back years after.
I know he averaged 100 catches a year when he was here.
Chochos, tell the people where they can find you, and as well as the new podcast, Healthins.
Well, we get on social media. You can find us as Healthins Mexico on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Even though we haven't posted anything on Instagram, soon we'll have something. And yesterday we had our first show live. Well, it was live. It was recorded, but it premiered yesterday. I think it went pretty well. I think it
I thought you guys did
well.
great, man. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you that you guys got
man.
that. Reason's been doing this for 4 years now, bro? Something like that.
I started off in TDPhinsTalk 2019, and then I started my channel March 2020.
Any advice for the young man here starting his own podcast?
Thanks for the young thing.
It's literally just all about it's grinding and being
Consistency,
consistent
man.
with content. That's what it's about.
Yep, that's what I tell them. Chochos, man, thank you so much for coming on, man. I'm going to let
Thank
you
you,
go,
guys.
brother. And we can't wait for next week's show. It's going to be a good show.
Thank you, guys. Nice
good.
talking to you guys.
Take it easy.
Fins up.
Fins up.
Bro, have
All
you
right.
guys seen these Buccaneers rings?
Yeah, they're insane. I was just looking at one, bro.
Did they
look like
open
my
up?
grandmother used to work at a dress shop in the 70s. This is what they were selling. Like, it's
Oh
nuts.
my god, these things are ridiculous. They open up. It's stupid.
Well, I guess I'm going to get cut off next. So let me just tell my quick last story. We're talking about those commercials back in the day in Steve Smith. One of my favorite NFL quotes ever is there was a year the Panthers, before they drafted Cam Newton, had a bunch of injuries, like rapid fire. And they signed Vinny Testaverde to be the quarterback with less than a week before he was going to start for the game. And he was at home retired, right? Because Vinny Testaverde played until he was 372 years old. Like, you read the Bible, he was way older than all that stuff. So I'm going to the museum tomorrow. Nothing I see. Vinny Testaverde is going to tell me about how it was all in his childhood, right? So Testaverde goes into the huddle, and Steve Smith comes up to him and he goes, "Listen, this is the play you're going to call. Just throw the fly route, throw it as far as you can. You can't overthrow me." And Testaverde's a cocky praise. I've been in Pro Bowls, bro. This is a young kid. I've been in the league 20 years. I'm going to go out and show this kid what's up. And in the first play, he throws it like as far as he can to embarrass Steve Smith. Steve Smith goes out and catches it. And Testaverde's like, "Yeah, I couldn't overthrow him. He was right. 100%. Steve Smith was that dude, man.
Steve Smith was a boss.
Rondell Moore out of Purdue reminds me so much of Steve Smith. It's ridiculous.
I agree. And I was a big Moore fan. I liked Moore way more than I like Kadarius Toney, who has COVID.
Agreed.
By the way,
110%.
I don't know why. Kadarius Toney was one of the most split players in recent drafts in terms of, like, half the people loved him and everybody else was like, he's going to bust hardcore.
Dude, and I'm a
Like,
Gators fan, and I'm not like
Yo,
the
I don't
biggest
see
Tony
it either,
fan.
dude. I don't get it. But hey, Reason, it was really nice kicking.
Wait,
with you, man.
I know who you need to have as your first guest on your show.
Reason?
Reason, bro. You two are great.
We're gonna fucking agree on everything. I'm so freaking agree on everything. That was an internet. It's Comcast. It's shitty. I mean, it sucks.
Love you, bro, so much.
All right, I gotta go. Y'all have been great.
Wait, tell everybody where they can find you.
Right here, MiamiSportsMusic.com, Instagram. What would Shula do? If you're ever in Denver, please feel free to hit me up. I got another What Would Shula Do customer, bought a bunch of gear from me. He's actually show up at 10 tomorrow. We're going to go hang out, get drunk. I'm going to hit a couple open mic comedy nights, whatever. And, of course, in about 6 weeks from now, you can find me at East 12 tailgating at 9 a.m. And we're going to celebrate, and we're going to be in the deep end acting a fool. And I'm sure Steven's going to be following me along with the camera because I wasn't smart enough to get a non-disclosure agreement. But, you grow. So, fins up. We're going to have a great year, and I'm going to see all you guys real soon.
I love you, brother. Be good.
Take it easy, bro.
And then there were two. Reason, bro. Thank you for coming on tonight, man, especially with recording.
Yo, my
and
bad,
everything.
bro. Just that other podcast took up some time, bro. My bad.
No, it's all good, man. You are such a big supporter of the channel. You promote us on your own channel, and we promote you. And you're not part of the affiliate, but I think maybe we should sit and talk because you should be, man. You're definitely part of the squad, man. There's no doubt about it.
For sure. I got a bone to pick with TD and Doug. Where you at, good boys?
So Doug texted
I know he's
me.
got the little one.
He's got the little one. And couldn't get away. He said if he could, like he was able to get the kid down, that he would try to step away. And then TD had a family emergency. You might have to take some kids to the hospital. So I don't know. So
shit, TD, I hope you're good, brother.
Yeah. So they had written notes. They were good. They were good.
I retract my previous statement, especially as someone who has a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. So I get the
I have a 5-year-old and 7-year-old. It's funny. All 4 of us have like kids. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it just makes things so different.
Bro, adulting sucks, bro.
Hashtag adulting sucks all day, bro. All day, man.
Yeah.
So, all right, real quick, again, because I know we're wrapping up the evening, but I want people to know, what do you have? Look, training camp's here. Like, what do you got prepared for the training camp and shit?
I'll be going live every single day.
Okay.
If I didn't have to watch, my wife is studying her final accounting exam to get her CPA designation is in September. So through July and August, she's literally studying from 8 to 4, Monday to Friday. So I have to watch the 7-month-old. And so if that wasn't going down, I'd be down at training camp 110%. So I'll just be going live every day. I've got obviously some subscribers. I've got obviously some friends that are going to be down there. So I'll be recapping, reviewing every single day training camp.
Bro, we got to have you on the morning show here and there too, so we can talk about some stuff. And,
sure.
You know, one of the other things that I was going to do with Wade, and I'll say it to you because you're the man. We're talking about doing like film breakdown, and I think you and Wade would kick ass in that shit. You know,
for sure.
I know you already do your own shit with the all 22, but
yeah,
I think I would love to hear you and Wade talk shit together because you both get it. You understand the game a lot better than a lot of people. So,
yeah,
you're the man, brother.
Appreciate it, man. You're a good dude too. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Oh, you're just don't make me blush. Don't make me blush. All right, brother. Be good, man. Have a good one.
Take it easy, brother.
Yep. All right, guys. Look, that was the roundtable today. This was fun. This was a blast. I hope you had a good time. I want to say thank you to everybody who donated in the chat. Because look, when you guys donate to the channel, it helps the channel grow. There's a lot of cool things we're trying to do here. One of them is to do a pregame show from the tailgate. And so all that stuff, when you donate, it's going right to equipment. We're trying to get better video editors in here to produce more shows. I can't do it all by myself. And right now I'm doing it all by myself. So when you donate, it helps the channel grow. So thank you for donating. Also, if you can't donate, that's fine too. Like and share, even though that we're about to go off live, take this show and share it to people. I think this was great content tonight. And the more people that are able to watch it, the better. So make sure you guys have people watch it. And then obviously every morning at 8:30 a.m., Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. It is a show that we do every day from 8:30 a.m. to usually about 10, sometimes 11. Sometimes we even go later than that, depending how things are going. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for doing that. Fantasy Fan Panel said, peace. Dolphin Don says, great show. Irving says, looking forward to tomorrow's show on Clock Blockers, Miami Sports Music, DWA, Fins Up. Doug, hey, thank you for joining the family and signing up to become a member. Guys, sign up to become a member if you haven't done so already. It's a big deal. Let's see here. Great show. Fins up all day, every day. Trust the process. Another 99-cent sticker from Chris Johnson. Hey, look, even 99 cents goes a long way, guys. If everybody right now donated 99 cents, all 60 of you, that goes a long way. It is a big deal. It really helps. Let's see here. I want to just, shout out some other people that are, throwing up. Irving, DWA, CWA certified. Saxman J. Will says, great show. Big John Stud, the reason saves every show. He's the closer, baby. He is the closer. Great guy. He's awesome. There's just so many things, man. There are so many things that are a part of everything. And you guys, the fans, are absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. A-Rod says, great roundtable. I can't wait for the season to start. Guys, as the season goes and it gets going, we're going to be doing more and more stuff. So make sure you guys do that. Again, like. We got 76 likes. I'd love to get to 100. I want to give a big shout out to everybody who donated this evening. It was really, really cool if you donated. Doug just donated again, $1. Thank you so much, Doug. Seriously. Thank you. Irving Figueroa again, with another 99 cents. Look at that. Everybody donate $1. Let's go. I like it. That's a big deal. Again, every little bit helps. You guys are awesome. You're absolutely amazing. We got a lot of stuff going on. I want to remind everybody, okay? If you haven't done so already, here's the lineup. We got the Freak Show. Make sure you go check out Doll Freakies episode 1. Absolutely amazing content. Make sure you guys go check out What Would Shula Do by Wade, episode 11, X's and O's and Trade Rumors. Also, I have a really cool interview with Solo D and Bad Bruno. Bad Bruno is a punk rock band. It is. They also redid the Miami Dolphins fight song. It's awesome. Guys, go check it out. It's good stuff. Next week, hopefully next week, we are going to be debuting a brand new show, the Fire and Ice Combat Sports Podcast. It's going to be big. We're going to have MMA talk, boxing, wrestling, everything all on the Combat Sports Podcast by Angel Ortiz. Super excited about that. So make sure you guys go do that. And then, obviously, there's a lot of cool, wonderful, amazing people that we have supporting this channel right here. Guys like Wade, TDPhinsTalk, Dougly Do Wrong, Kflexin. They're all amazing. Please go to their channels. Check them out. They're so I can't get over how great they are. They're just good people. And then obviously every morning at 8:30 a.m., Clock Blockers, baby. The #1 Miami fan morning show with myself, Stephen D. Make sure you guys go do that. It has been so much fun hanging out with you all tonight. I'm going to go try to get some sleep before I got to get up early in the morning and do the show with you guys. We're going to have a good time. And guys, follow me on social media. Please go follow me on social media. The social media is at Stephen D SKPL. Again, that's at Stephen D SKPL. SKPL stands for Spread Kindness, Positivity, and Love. I'm always doing that. That's what I try to do on this channel. If you notice, I have all these people on here that I try to bring all these people together because I just want to have a common place that we can all speak our minds and do a lot of cool, amazing things. So that's what I try to do here. Dolphin Don with the 99 cent. Appreciate it, Dolphin Don. Love it. Irving Figueroa with the 99 cent again. Douglas Bigler with the 99 with the $1 donation. Guys, it all helps. Whether you donate $100 or $1 or $2 or $5, it doesn't matter. It all helps. Irving says, smash that like button before y'all leave. Awesome. Rob G says, I'm definitely going to listen right after we're done here. Awesome. Exactly. And then obviously I forgot to talk about, one last time, the guys. They did amazing. If you speak a little Espanol, go check out Hellfins, a Spanish-speaking podcast. It is about the Miami Dolphins. As you guys just saw, Chochos and Paris was up here earlier. Big shout out to Armand. All those guys are great. So make sure you guys go check out Hellfins. We're trying to do big things here over at Miami Sports Music. So anytime you guys donate, it helps the channel. Anytime you guys like it, it helps the channel. Anytime you guys share content, it all helps. So I love you guys. Be good. God bless all of you. And fins up. Follow us at Stephen D SKPL, at Miami Sports Music. If you're on Twitter, that's at MIA Sports Music. And let's go. Let's have a good time, guys. Y'all be good. Love y'all. Peace. Fins up.